Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, August 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a middling day yesterday. I didn't take that Mets-Nats first five under when it moved to 4, which cost me. Milwaukee-Pittsburgh first five under 4 was a very easy casher. Bryce handled his business like we expected him to. Pirates went outright. Man, Pirates at home as big dogs. A dangerous dog. Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 over 5 was a push. Those of you who got in at 4.5, juiced. Pete got in at minus 128, cashed. I got plus 100. It was a loser. Tigers first 5 was a loser, and Rangers first 5 was atrocious. Spencer Howard can blow me. And that was yesterday. 1 and 2 down 1.2 units. I started yesterday down just 0.3 units. A huge opportunity to get into the black, and it did not come to fruition. But today is a big day. We have a debut, and I love debuts here on the show. I love having new voices on the show. Today, the debut of Moose Money Bets, who's pumped up after his Friars made huge moves at the deadline. So I'm very excited to have him on the show and for him to open up his account here at Betting with the Bag, because we track everybody's action. And that's a part of the fun here, is that we're transparent and honest and won't sell you anything ever. And we win together, and at times we lose together. But the most important thing is together. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Andrew G in the house, ready to get to work. Jedi for life, ready to go. Not good. Jedi for life. 3 losing days in a row. Let's change that. Let's fix that right now. AJ 1337 said, went from a push day to a negative day because I took those units and started playing blackjack. Yes, there's a few cappers that I roll with that have a penchant for playing blackjack at the end of the night. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous proposition, and we've all been there. We've all been in that situation. Your blackjack is my poker, and so or horse racing, fucking live Aussie horse racing at 1 a.m. Does hurt somebody, and it's usually me. But we've done that, so no worries. Don't, it's all good. But be consciously aware of it so that you can cut down from that happening. Vibe says, Astros continue to screw me, but on them again today. Yankees -1, Dodgers -1, Astros -1.5 locked in last night. What Alex Cobb is going to do tonight, I find fascinating. I'm very interested to see what Alex Cobb is going to do. And I have made one bet only, and that is on the Baltimore Orioles. Because I think Kyle Bradish is going to be a beast. I know he's sitting here with a 7 ERA, but I think he's going to be a elite starter in Major League Baseball. Maybe that's just stupid. But the New Mexico State product is someone that I really believe in. And I think that month in the minors before the All-Star break and through the All-Star break will help him. I really do. But we will break all that down. Dave Railing says, maybe time to quit baseball and get ready for NFL. Well, college football NFL is going to be here shortly, Dave. But you can cut down on but what's important is success in gambling. So if it's not bringing you success, then do whatever necessary to reap the rewards of your hard work and your capping. And if that means starting on NFL, which I know a lot of people have already started, then do that. But we love capping with you here. J Dub says, took the day off. Back at it today. Nice to take a day off once in a while. Billy Friedrich giving respect to Vin Scully, the man who taught generations of fans on the West Coast the beautiful game of baseball. No one better. And he will always go down in history as the greatest of all time. And it's too bad. But 94 years old. He lived a great, great life. Lived the life of our wildest dreams. So, rest in peace. And what a life he lived. It doesn't. Certain things don't have to be sad. And him, dying in 94 doesn't need to be sad. But what we can do is celebrate the incredible life that Scully had and how lucky we were to listen to him call games.
Hello, Dad.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. It's
Nice
been a couple days since I've seen you.
Yes, it has been.
We were talking about, Vin, and I think we need to appreciate greatness while we have it. And I saw this in a video that our man Dutch Boy Fresh posted, and I needed to amplify it because I think we need to appreciate greatness while we have it.
That makes sense.
I mean, let's give a shout out to our guy Dom Ricci with the best style in the business, man. Look at our man. Look at our man living his life in Vegas with his T-bones. His shirt buttons got divorced years ago.
I love it.
I love my man Dom Ricci. So let's appreciate greatness while we got it, guys, because we
well
got
put.
cappers like Dom Ricci out there. Appreciate them.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I've had the pleasure of dining with Dommy Gunn in Vegas. He's a great guy, and he insisted on paying the tab as well. He's a class act, man. He is a class act all the way through, and really fun to hang out with. And recently turned 65. 65 years old, our Dommy Gunn Ricci. There's Nutflush Allen says, morning, boys and girls. I hope I was able to help yesterday. God, Nutflush, you're seeing things so impressively clear. It's what you're doing. Nutflush Allen off another winning day. All you do is help. All you do is help. Billy Friedrich says, happy 97th birthday to Marv Levy. So there we go. There's a little appreciation. Well, but you're right. It is important to celebrate greatness while it's right in front of you. Billy Friedrich said, heading to see my White Sox in person today for the first time, says Billy Friedrich. Wow. Billy, you're not going to be the only low bagger there. Be free. Be free. Billy Friedrich going to be at the game. And look at this. Billy, such a great guy, someone that we've run with for a long time. But we got a couple cappers who are going to be at the game. But Billy Friedrich going to be there for the first time in over 15 years, and first time since his dad passed. I know that your dad is looking back, looking down and smiling, and knowing that you're at the game today. Now, like, I don't, when we get into, death and all that stuff, I like the religious side of things. I'm not really a part of, and but we carry, people that we cherish and love. We carry them with us, and your dad's going to be with you at the ballpark today, Billy Friedrich. And there's a couple other cappers that are going to be at that White Sox game, so I will stay in touch with you. But Billy, have an incredible, incredible day, and that's just beautiful. I love that shit. I will be imagining you at that game. There has been a big market move to the young Kansas City Royals pitcher singer. We'll talk about that. There's our guy Puzzler in the house, says, viewing al fresco and loving it. All cylinders and some sour kush fired. Our guy Puzzler, we love you so much, Puzzler. LJ from H-Town, ready to get to work. 15 years. Yeah, over 15 years. Gonna catch his White Sox today. I love it. Serious Business, Mad Stoney, Mike M, Andrew G, Victor, a Bud in the house. His Premier League is back this weekend. Are we still going to get the Alex Flash Soccer Show on Friday nights? We have new stuff coming. New show coming that we are going. We have a bunch of new stuff coming here at Pub that we will be announcing here across a few different sports. So we will let you know, Victor. But we have big things in the works. Johnny Gunn says, I wanted to fade DeGrom's first start, and I was too scared. Left money on the table. You know who wasn't too scared? Nutflush Allen. Nutflush Allen reaping the great rewards. There's Jay Peasy in the house. Blake Snell is a minus 310 pitcher today. It's going to be awesome, he says. All right. Okay, so let's get to work here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got Saturated G Martinez Slats. He says Mookie bets easy money on total hits, and rip to Vin Scully. So many great stories. Mad Stoney, Wine Time Sports. Chase Ferris. What a group. Billy Frank said Scully announced Connie Mack's last season as a manager. Mack began his career in 1894. Jesus, crazy. 1950 he started. Just absolutely nuts. There's Lit Picks in the house. Says nice pickup for you with the Jays of Merrifield. Number 3 in hits since 2019. Well, this could turn out to be a much bigger story than it is right now because he has to get vaccinated or he can't come into the country. So it's up to him whether he wants to turn this into a huge national story. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's going to get vaxxed tomorrow and he's going to be a Blue Jay. Fuck, I don't know. And Slatsy added Ticats first half +1 and Elks lines over 51. I am on the Red Blacks +6 at -105 with a ton of confidence. Market moving against me. I don't care. I'm going to put my balls out and rest them on the bridge of the market's nose. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, we got to get to work. B-Lab69 said Loshak maybe some extra money with the White Sox. But he was so confident with the White Sox. I should have jumped on it as well. Upsetting. Jeff Shahadi said, watch the show on delay yesterday, and Pete repeating, smashing a fat plane had me rolling. Yes, he's very, very, very funny. Saturated says, are there any cappers that only bet dogs in baseball or otherwise stay off? Well, I can tell you that our man Hunter Engelhart, who will be back with us next week, only bets plus lines. I would say 97% of his action is plus lines. That's not necessarily dogs. He bets a ton of totals. But yes, he only bets plus lines. I don't know anyone who only bets dogs. Although there was a capper in the past who, I won't mention his name, but he screwed a lot of people over. He started a group, a gambling group, and he took off with the cash. And it wasn't even that much. It was like, I don't know, fucking 12 or 13K. And he fucked off with that money. And one of the guys who was investing with his friend who had cancer and trying to help with the cost of going through that. But the guy fucked off. And we don't need to get into this story. This was when I, first year and a half, I was doing this publicly. But he would always take dogs on the reverse run line. And we watched him get up over 100 units. Just barely over 100, but still, I was the only person I've seen do that, get over 100 units. So, but that was what he was hitting it like, God, I can't even remember, but I would say between like 39 and 42%. But he was up over 100 units. But he was a guy who was very vocal about the Coors Field fade. And he would do that sort of thing in all parks with, or all situations where there was implied volatility in any situation where, and he was almost blindly doing it. If the total was like 10 or higher, he would be on the dog -1.5. And it was extremely successful for him. And we've seen what Jose's done with fading the -300. So, but I don't know if there's anyone who only bets dogs. But then I would say that was, this person who we will never name again because he's fucking scammed people. Sadly, it was awful to watch. Jeffrey Moore says Mets first 504.5 was my big bet, but then lost. Oh no, lost every other bet. Okay, well, we'll don't like hearing that. I had a very small. I only bet 4. I'm trying to just not force things. There's Matty Ice in the house. All right, it's time to get to work. We love you guys. There's Ick Schnizzle. Said had a bad yesterday, looking at bounce back. Yeah, it looks like it was a tough night for people yesterday. Let's get that cash back here, and we have a great opportunity to do that. And Taint is in the Tigers game today. Okay, I can't wait to hear. All right, shout out to all you guys. Thank you for joining us. It is time to get to work. And if I could give you guys all a shout out, I would. But we got to get busy. And there's Brizzy. Speaking of getting busy, and Deacon Mike says, Jimmy with the Dr. Phil moment. Yes. And there's Big Show picks in the house. All right. It is time to introduce, and it's not an introduction to a lot of you. A lot of you have capped with your next guest before. I've watched them cap on some of our Pub Sports radio shows, and we've been figuring out how to get him here on Betting with the Bag to break down an entire 15-game card with afternoon action. Very skilled capper, and he's here with us making his Betting with the Bag debut. Please welcome to the show, Moose Money Bets in the house. Moose, what's happening, my man?
Oh, Jim, I am so pumped, but before I go into anything, I just got to pay respect right now to the GOAT, Vin Scully. I really wanted to chime in there, sure. But as a Padres fan, just his voice was such a natural element of the summer. It was one of those things that when you heard him, even if you weren't a Dodgers fan, you just knew baseball was in the air. And as a baseball purist, at least I like to think of myself as a baseball purist, he just had one of those voices. He had some of those stories that you could just sit there and listen 1 through 9, just have no cares in the world. So pay respects to the GOAT, Vin Scully. But other than that, I'm happy to be here. Padres won Soto. Of course, I got to get that off the table. I'm just so excited. I'm going to the game tonight, so I'll be able to greet him in person. But before we do that, let's get after this and let's get that money.
Let's do it, Moose. I'm excited for this opportunity. Let's get right to work. 12:10 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays 58-45, 24-24 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 54-49, 32-21 at home. We're at the Trop. Yusei Kikuchi against Jalen Beeks. I'd like to fade Kikuchi very badly, but this Rays lineup is the worst I have seen them put out since they were a cellar dweller. This is the worst Rays lineup I can imagine. And they have Yarbrough as the primary after Jalen Beeks. Jays lineup, Gurriel, who's just, I think, the most confident hitter in the league right now. He's just been incredible. Guerrero, Kirk, Bichette, Hernandez, Chapman, Jansen, Espinal, Tapia. Tapia has been so much better than we expected. And look, Espinal was an all-star. I like the lineup a lot. For the Rays, Diaz, Paredes, Siri, Arozarena, Peralta, Chang, Walls, Quinn, and Pinto. Ugly Rays lineup. Kikuchi on the road, 0-3, 5.93 ERA, 288 opponent's batting average. Look, I think he could get touched here, but is this lineup capable of touching him? We know that Jalen Beeks will get them off to a good start. He had a spectacular July, 8 2/3, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 3 walks. Blue Jays hitting 257, 744 OPS for lefties, but that won't help them here. Rays 253, 705 OPS for lefties. The Rays bullpen pitching very well. The Jays bullpen much improved. Viper talking about Joe says you don't like Rene Pinto? No, I love Rene Pinto. You kidding me? I fucking love him, but I don't expect success from him. We have just a 5-cent move to the Blue Jays. The total is exactly where it opened, but it had moved 10 cents to the over last I checked. This move back to the under happened 25 minutes ago. And then we'll go over to the cash flow here. This is 12:10 action. We have just 1,311 tickets in there. It looks like they're behind. They don't even have a money line for us here. Or sorry, a money amount. Just 59 tickets on the Jays and 81 tickets on the over without an amount either. So looks like Sports Insight's not going to help us too much at this point in the morning. Take it away. Oh, and Slotson says exact same feelings, Jimmy. Brutal lineup for Tampa, but can't bet the Cooch. Let's see what Moose Money Bets has to say. First game on the board. Moose, Jays, Rays, AL East battle. Take it away.
This is the first game I capped, and obviously if you're preparing for something you're looking forward to, you kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive. I haven't moved on anything, but I'm really close to going on a Blue Jays team total. But one of the weird things I found was that Kikuchi has a horrible hard hit rate. He is in the lowest percentile in terms of hard rate, meaning 99% of MLB pitchers have better average exit velocity and hard hit percentage and barrel percentage. But that's something the Rays don't do. They have 0 players hitting over 50% barrel rate or a hard hit rate. And it's one of those things where I kind of expect Kikuchi could have a decent enough start. I would be hesitant of a full game over because you just mentioned it. What are the Rays going to do offensively to contribute to an over? So I would isolate the Blue Jays and hope that the Blue Jays are able to sustain their success. But it is Beeks versus the 2 innings. He doesn't go much more than that. Yarbrough, okay. And the Braves bullpen has been getting better recently. It was a team that you kind of wanted to go up against, but coming over the last month or so, 234 average against, 3.46 ERA, but their FIP is 4.12. So there is some indicators saying that their bullpen still isn't all the way back to the status that we kind of had it before. But I am really close to moving on that Blue Jays team total. I was hoping to get a 3.5, but it looks like the 3.5 is like minus 140. So possibly a 4, but that's the only thing I'm looking at here in this game.
I have figured out what I want to do. I love your stats, and you're getting a lot of love from the chat already for the barrel looks that you gave us and the idea that even though Kikuchi gets barreled up, will this lineup be able to do it? And you're right, that 3.5 is minus 140 at Pinnacle. I have figured out how I want to bet this. I still think Kikuchi is bad, and I want to fade him after every positive start or every good start. he seems to be handling time off well. And a lot of Japanese pitchers do that because they don't have as rough of a schedule as the North Americans. The last two times first time he was taken out of the starting rotation, and then this last time was over the All-Star break. He came back and looked good. I just don't believe it. I'm going to take the Rays first 3. And this is going to cost. They don't let you fuck around with these first 3s for cheap. It's going to be minus 115. But I loved Jalen Beeks' July. What up, Roger? That great to see you. Joe Yurkovich says, I would say Jay's full game, but the Rays at home keeps me off. And Vin Scully was the first gentleman of baseball, says Puzzler. That's well put.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Rays first 3. I'm going to have to bet that during the show, but I didn't know what to do with it. Matty Ice says Rays first 5 is on his card. I like it. So do we want to see if we can build you a 4? Let me see what Circa is hanging as well.
Yeah, because I couldn't see 3.5 or anything above 3.5 on the other books I have. So, and Bovada went down this morning, shocker. So I couldn't see what the 4 would have cost.
Let's see what we can get you at Circa. Oh, you're not even going to give you one? Unbelievable. Okay, Circa's not even. Oh yeah, here it is. Sorry. Oh, they're not. Wow. Unbelievable. They're giving you a Rays team total, but not a Jays team total over at Circa. Wow. Interesting. And then if I want to build you one here at Bet365, I doubt that it's going to be good to you. Let's just quickly check it though. It's the same price as Pinnacle. So I could build you a 4 with our -1 calculator, the -140 and +120. The 4 would still be -109, so there'd still be VIG on it.
Let me think about it because I really want the 4 to cash, and I was hoping that I was going to be able to get like a ladder play on the 3.5 and go like -130 and then just kind of build up from there. I kind of capped this. I thought Springs might be in there as the primary. So Yarborough, it was a little bit of a surprise because I thought he's lined up to kind of pitch. So if he's not going today, I guess he's going tomorrow.
Mike M says he's got slight line movement to the Jays last 5 minutes. Yeah, we happened to Bet365 about 30 minutes ago. What up, Brian Mueller? Great to see you, Ronnie and Bergie, my man. Chief says Tampa Bay first 3. Let's go. You can get that at -105 at WinBet, says Joe Yurkovich. And we move on. Money line Mills on a 4-day winning streak. Okay, so I have 49 minutes to put this bet in. Matt Stoney says Cooch will keep it tight today. Every time he has a good start, I will bet against him in his next start. And I needed to figure that out, and I did. Rays first 3 for me, and I need to bet that here during the show. All right, let's move on. 12:20 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies 55-48, 29-23 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 63-41, 37-21 at home. Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go to the weather in Atlanta to get this started. Light rain and humid. High percentage of rain off the top, and it is under the possible weather delay rain out spot. 84% precipitation right at first pitch. So this game's probably just going to be moved back because that completely dies off for the rest of the game. 3.3 miles per hour right to left at first, and the wind moves around, but very light wind. Let's move to the line history. These Philly Braves games I found tricky. When the games, are rolling like yesterday, I was like, oh, of course Strider's still going to pitch well because he's just a great pitcher. And we've even said that on the show for the last few weeks. When we backed Cole Irvin, when he kept seeing the Astros lineup, we're like, look, this guy is confident. He's getting these guys out. And I should have thought the same way about Strider. I did not. There's been no movement towards the Braves overall. They're sitting where they opened at -140. There had been some movement to the Phillies last night. And then from a total perspective, we have a 10-cent move to the over. And then we'll move over to the cash flow in this one. 4,715 tickets in. 44% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on Zach Wheeler. 64% of the tickets on the over. We don't have a cash flow. We don't have a cash flow on any of the totals except for the Royals White Sox game. So Sports Insight's behind today, which is rare for them. I'll keep refreshing. That's a little annoying. And the taint play of the day is in from Matty Ice. Minnesota run line -1.5, -110. Says fading my Tigers here, and Ryan owns them. Let's eat. So backing Joe Ryan. Very interesting. That's more afternoon action for us. I love it. Thank you, Matty Ice, for sharing that with us. Ronnie and Berger saying that Barstool also offers those first threes. Oh, and by the way, WT letting us know that the Termina Leche girls cashed the Ron Crawford play today, yesterday. Free service for him when he comes to Costa Rica. I won't tell him that. I'll keep that between us. That he gets free service if he goes down to Costa Rica. I'm going to keep that on the DL there. All right, Zach Wheeler, Charlie Morton, 9-5 is Wheeler, 2.77 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. His last start was at Pittsburgh. He doesn't have very good road numbers, but he completely shut them down, and then the bullpen fell apart. Ended up being an 8-7 win for the Phillies, but a lot of people had the Phillies on the run line and got hurt. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 3 walks. Charlie Morton's last start at Philly, he got touched by these guys. 5 runs, 4 of which were earned over 5 innings. He's got better numbers at home than he does on the road. 3.83 ERA, 201 opponent's batting average. Both teams hit righties with the exact same batting average, but the Braves have way more pop, 746 OPS compared to the Phillies 712. And the Phillies bullpen is slipping again. They look good there, and they've not come out of the All-Star break carrying that over. And the Braves bullpen's been good all year. Take it away, Moose. Phillies, Braves.
I mean, you mentioned the Wheeler's road ERA. A lot of it is isolated to a start that he had versus the Blue Jays, where he gave up, 7 hits and 4 2/3, 6 runs. Before that and around that, he's had some really good road starts. So, I mean, you can probably tell where I'm kind of going here. I am on the Phillies first 5. I do like them as the dog here. Morton has had some struggles against the Phillies, and it's not just limited to that one game. He has had multiple starts against the Phillies, and in those starts, he's gone 4 1/3, 9 hits, 4 runs. He's gone another one. His last one, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. So he's had multiple starts where he's given up runs to the Phillies. The issue would be the bullpen, and I don't trust the Philly bullpen to hold any kind of lead here, especially since the All-Star game. But both offenses are, like you kind of said, they're similar. Since the All-Star game, Philly 260 average, 416 slug, 714 OPS, 97 runs created plus. Atlanta 241, 431, 727, and 100 runs created plus. So very similar. The series is split pretty evenly. 6 wins for Atlanta, 5 wins for Philadelphia. But I do like Philly first 5. And I also like Morton K's under, because if you look at Charlie Morton's starts versus the Phillies, he hasn't gone above 5 strikeouts in any of those starts. And the prop for the K is 6.5. So that was a somewhat easy bet for me as well. So I'm on Phillies first 5, and I'm on the Phillies first 5 team total over 1.5. So it's kind of a little bit of a crush spot on the Phillies early.
I like it. Let's lock you in. This is Moose's first official action here. I'm betting with the bag, getting in. So I've got a plus 111 for the Phillies first 5.
Lock it.
All right. Moose is on the Phillies first 5 at plus 111. Here we go.
And then their team total over 1.5 as well, because I do expect the Phillies to continue to put up runs on Morton.
First 5, team total over 1.5. I got minus 126 for that. Can you beat that anywhere? First, yeah.
I got it last night at minus. I got it last night minus 125.
Okay, cool. So we can use that still. Minus 126. And then you have Morton under 6.5 Ks. And what do you have that at?
I got that at minus 110.
All right. Locked in. Mr. Heat says, Moose, we on the same page. Let's cash. Joe Yurkovich is on the Wheeler K prop over 6.5. Says Braves strike out a lot. Wheeler over is number 5 times in a row. Huh. Mike M is going to be with you on the Phillies first 5. Jeffrey Blue says, Moose on the big stage. I like it. There's Rocco Rogers says, good morning, Jimmy and Moose. How's it going, guys? Moose, our Padres shall destroy. But I'm a little salty being a Padres-Dodgers fan. They're going to have to go against each other. Yes, they are going to have to go against each other. Rocco Rogers liking that Wheeler prop. I think you were onto something with the Phillies first 5. You can imagine that Wheeler will keep producing. I'd be curious. And I know, would their day numbers, their day splits play any role? I haven't looked at them here.
Oh, the big issue is the rain. I hate rain for baseball because it throws everything off. I mean, baseball's such a consistent routine sport that you need everything to kind of go in line. And if there's disruption of that schedule, of that routine, it can throw things off and you have no idea who's more susceptible to those type of things than others. Some guys, not a big problem. They'll just go in the clubhouse, play some 2K. But others, they get antsy. They start getting restless. They start getting tired. They don't maintain themselves well. Maybe they're hitting some brewskis or something in their little locker. But it is one of those things that rain is usually a stay off. I didn't see that. So I'm not sure whether I'm not sure if I just missed it. But weather is the biggest issue here. The whole day-night split can be problematic, but more important than that would be the weather.
Let's see if because RotoWire is not saying that there's any problem with the weather. Let's just go to the actual weather report. Weather, and let's see here. Man, they're saying it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't see anything when I was looking, because usually if I see something significant like you were reading off, like 88%, 80%, that is usually just like, all right, well, I'm not going to look at that game. I got other places to look.
It's raining right now. It's raining right now. So the risk of thunderstorms, I think, gets cut down. I don't mind a little bit of rain when the game gets pushed back 30 or 40 minutes, especially for such an early start. I don't think that would bother me too much. I like your look on the Phillies first 5. I'm curious to see what I would be offered it at here quickly. I'm being offered at plus 110. Wow, no VIG here. Deacon says, good news. Bovada's still down. Might end up saving me money today. Okay. I think I may be rolling with you. This game pops off in 36 minutes, so decisions will have to be made. Yes, the game will be played in full. No doubt the weather issues are early and right now. Do we have anybody in Atlanta right now? Because it says it's raining as we speak. All right. Moose money is locked in. Nasinade says take the first 3. Yeah, if it's Wheeler, I'm not concerned about Wheeler. The reason why I'm taking the first 3 and not the first 5 in that Rays game is because I am concerned about Yarbrough, even though he's been okay against the Jays. Okay, so Sammy says nothing like midweek cashers. Let's go. And by the way, Joe Yurkovich says Wheeler averages 11.47 Ks per 9 in day games. And BJ right there says, Jimmy, I live in Atlanta. No, it's not raining, just cloudy, bro. Okay, thank you. So there is on the ground, feet on the ground right there. Feet on the ground. Okay, I'm thinking of rolling with you here, and I'll make these decisions here shortly. That would be on the Phillies first 5. All right, thank you, BJ, my man, and thank you for hanging with us during your workday. We move on. 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 56-49, 29-26 on the road to the New York Yankees 70-35, 41-14 at home. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. This is a difficult cap here, and it's all about Luis Castillo. We don't really know how he handles pressure. I guess we're going to be finding out here today. This is a big one. His first start in the Mariners uniform against the Bronx Bombers. I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than that. 86 Fahrenheit, 4.4 miles per hour, right to left. It starts blowing out within 45 minutes. 5.3 and then 6.3 by the end of the game, blowing out to left center. Let's go over to the line history in this Yankees spot. Oh, man, I want to watch this game. No movement. There was a 15-cent move to the Yankees last night. It's come back. The last move, and it was a big one, a 15-cent move to the Mariners, happened 40 minutes ago. So a big 15-cent move. This total also dropped to 7 when that move happened. So it went from 7.5 to 7. Let's go over to the cash flow, and maybe I'll stop using the cash flow. It just doesn't seem to be giving us enough information here. 4,514 tickets in. 79% of the tickets and 58% of the tickets on the under. 79% of tickets on the money line for the Yankees, 58% of tickets on the under. And that's all they're giving us here from Sports Insights. I'll refresh this shit again. Luis Castillo's last start was interesting. Scouts all over the place. He allowed 2 home runs, 3 earned runs over 7 innings. It was a quality start, and he looked good in the 5-3 win at home versus the light-hitting Marlins. Garrett Cole's last start, he got touched up badly, an 11-5 win at home versus the Royals. That was a minus 400 spot. He got allowed 5 earned runs in that spot. 4-2, 2.55 ERA, 198 points batting average at home. The Yankees smash righties. The Mariners do not. 231, 695 OPS. And the Yankees and Mariners bullpens have both been excellent of late. Jamal Martin says Yankees bounce back at home. B-Lab 69 is kind of leaning over, but the number at 7 might be telling of a low-scoring game. Joey Marinaccio says Yankees just saw him. Craig Wood says Castillo has good numbers versus the Yankees, 100 plate appearances. Take it away here for us, Moose. Biggest game on the card, Mariners-Yankees.
Yeah, you hit it. This one is really, really tough because I would love to go up against Luis Castillo, who, in my opinion, in the past has struggled in those big moment games. If you remember the Reds playoff run, he did not pitch well in the playoffs, but you're going off a really small sample size. You could also look at his last game and go, well, that's also a big moment for him because he's basically pitching himself onto a playoff contender. His last start versus the Yankees, 7 innings, 2 hits. I mean, that was just pure dominance. I mean, he did walk guys. That was an issue. The Yankees are absolutely crushing right now. A lot of that is Aaron Judge. But since the All-Star game, they have 251 average, 478 slug, 828 OPS, 137 runs created plus. Those are all really positive numbers. But I would love to back the Mariners. But without J-Rod on there, there's certain moments throughout the season where we've seen big superstars go down, whether it's Machado for the Padres. I'm kind of blanking on some other situations because that one, near and true to my heart. But the team struggles to score if their number one offensive option goes down. Angels and Mike Trout, they struggle to score when their superstar goes down. Yesterday, they had some runs, but before that, scores of 2 runs in both games. So 4 in 2 games. It's a tough game. I'm off. I would have loved to have gotten the Yankees on a much better price, but there was no way that price was going to be bettable. So if you're throwing it into a parlay, have at it. But this is a really, really tough game. I would lean under because of how well Castillo pitches, the expectation that Cole should dominate a really weak Mariners lineup. But again, Garrett Cole just faced the Royals and kind of imploded. So what are you going to get from GC? No idea.
Yeah, and you're right. That 15-cent move is easily explainable. It's not because of action on the other side. It's no Judge in the lineup.
Oh, there you go.
So Yankees are Rizzo, LeMahieu, Carpenter, Donaldson, Benintendi, Torres, Hicks, Kiner Falefa, Higashioka. For the Mariners, Frazier, Winker, Suarez, Santana, Crawford, Lewis, Kelenic. Oh, Kelenic's back in action. Torrens and Haggerty. So that is the situation there. Mike M liking the under. That's why it moved from 7.5 to 7. Thank you for letting us know that, Jedi. Yeah, I do not. I guess.
If Cole was even somewhat decent against the Royals, I'd be on the under here. But because he has these moments where he just implodes, and I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, he didn't have the sticky stuff that day. I'm very much on the side of that argument where there has been sticky stuff since the invention of the game. There used to be a ball that you could throw called the spitball. So there's been maneuvering around how you can manipulate a baseball. So there's plenty of issues with guys doing things to doctor it. But that's not going to be the issue this year with Cole. It's just a guy that's starting to decline because he's getting older.
He's getting older and could be dealing with a little bit of arm fatigue here. His last 2 starts have been pretty ugly. 12 innings, 16 hits, 8 earned runs. Still not walking batters, but why don't we bring in our producer, Jose Bouquet, and hear what he has to say about a pitcher that he despises so. What do you think here? Are you moving on this Mariners-Yankees game, Jose?
Well, it's tough to say because I think it's truly up to the Mariners' bats versus Garrett Cole. I think that's where the key matchup lies, truthfully. First 5 team total over 1.5 on Pinnacle, because as Moose Money said, Bovada is a bunch of bitches, and they're down. Is plus 108, and I can't bet it obviously because Texas. But that was my only like lean towards this game. Of course, Kermit struggled last time out, helped us cash a first 5 money line on Los Royals last time out. Thank you to my close, very close personal friend Salvador Perez for hitting that home run against him in the 5th inning. That made me bust my load. But I'm not going to move on this game as of right now either. I think the J-Rod point is right. Kelnick coming up, which is hilarious. But I would lean towards the plus money dog here. I just think it's interesting. And plus, this year, is it this year? It's 2022, yeah. So this year, he's already pitched against the Yankees and pitched well. Luis Castillo has, especially with no Judge too. I like my chances.
Is this something you want to make official?
No, because that's just a lean, unfortunately, as well.
I get it.
So no official plays. It's going to be an interesting day of baseball, to say the least. Especially,
what are your expectations of Castillo in this start?
I think he's a good start. I think he's good at baseball. Yeah.
Very good.
The sevens is a big like, oh, okay, so he's gonna have a good start, because I think Garrett Cole always commands the respect of the market, because they always think like, oh, he's gonna have a good start. It's Garrett Cole. I was a little surprised that it's so low. I was honestly expecting an 8 or 8.5 maybe. So truthfully, I would probably bet the over. But if the market thinks Luis Castillo is gonna have a good start, then I'll just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So Rance looking at the under. Harold Williams looking at the no-run first inning. Craig Wood got in on Seattle plus a half first 5 at plus a hundo. Woo Rizza says furthest I could back Mariners is first 5 plus a half. And Woo Rizza saying Cole on bounce backs owned the Mariners historically. All right, this is definitely a stay off spot for me. A stay off spot, but a lean for Jose. Moose, is there anything you want to make official here, or do we move on to D-backs Guardians?
No, I mean, nothing official. The only thing I would say is the only pitch that Luis Castillo is really getting hit on is a sinker, and I expect him to probably throw that a little bit less here as he's been traded to the Mariners, because that's going to be something that Mariners are going to be checking on when they look up his stats and what each individual pitch is doing. So it's the one pitch that is getting hit. I expect him to kind of pull back on that again. So I do expect him to have a good start.
And I would explain the sinker being his highest batting average or hardest hit pitch, just because it's kind of meant to be hit. It's kind of getting your ground ball pitch. So if anything's going to get hit, it's going to be a sinker, and ideally into the ground. So I like Luis Castillo a lot. And by the way, Moose, I'm going to join you guys again 2 more times on this card. White Sox and, of course, your Padres, because
everybody was on board.
I didn't take minus 345 Mets there yesterday. I should have taken the first 5 for them, for the Nationals, I should be saying. But they got slipped away from me that time. But tonight, with all that hype, Blake Snell, we'll see about that.
Okay, a little look ahead spot from our Jose one-hole bouquet. We move on to 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 46-57, 19-30 on the road at the Guardians, 53-50, 26-20 at home at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. And in comes 25-year-old Michigan native pitcher, I'm sure that our Matty Ice knows very well, Tommy Henry. High school in Michigan, second-round pick out of the University of Michigan in 2019. In AAA Reno, he was very good. And if you can have an ERA under 4 in the PCL League, you're very good. 4-4, 3.83 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. But a reason why we haven't seen him in the show yet, and all these guys that seem to be making their appearance, over the last 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks or so, all have walk issues. 100 Ks, 44 walks, 108 innings, 11 home runs allowed for this lefty Tommy Henry. Going up against Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber is pitching well, and Noli Knows has continued to back him. due to his nice swing and miss numbers, but his fastball is getting hit at over 300. But the swing and miss numbers are important, very important, and Noli knows has been using them to his advantage. He's coming off a 4-1 win at the Rays. That was a loser for me. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-1 win. 3.41 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. His splits are fine on the road. 2 and 3, 3.59 ERA, 2.24 opponent's batting average. He had allowed 11 runs in 11 and 2/3 road innings before that last start when he shut down the Rays. The Diamondbacks also don't hit righties, 226.87 OPS, and the Guardians don't hit lefties, 226.10 OPS. The Diamondbacks bullpen has been a little better of late, and the Guardians bullpen has been coming on of late as well. And Matty Ice says, command. That is Tommy Henry's issue, this 25-year-old lefty. Let's take a look at the weather in Cleveland first. Shout out to our guy, Ick Schnizzle, Ohio's finest right there. 88 Fahrenheit, feels like 93, 9 miles per hour to right field, and it grows to 11.8 miles per hour by the end of the game and gets hotter throughout. Then we'll take a look at the line history in this one. We have, move over here, Arizona, Cleveland. We have a 10-cent move to the over and a 10-cent move to the Rockies. 10-cent move to the over, 10-cent move to the Rockies. And do we get any?
Rockies or Diamondbacks?
Oh, sorry. 10-cent move to the Diamondbacks. Thank you. And 10-cent move to the over. 90% of the tickets are on the Guardians and a 10-cent move to the Diamondbacks. And then the over-under is split. So we're not getting a lot of help there. Spreadsheet play of the day is in Taint and Spreadsheet once again combined, and they're 8-0, I believe, when this happens. 8-0 when they're on the same pick. Wow. Big news. And Spreadsheet play day in CFL is Ottawa, getting the Red Blacks at +5.5. I love that. I'm on them at +6. Market moving against us, but we show no fear. Okay, let's take it away here. Moose, Diamondbacks, Guardians.
You said it right away with Tommy Henry and his command, and that is a huge issue, especially for a guy that's making his first start. I have yet to bet any pitcher that's making their first start, whether it's on them or against them, because you have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, I saw a guy in his first start throw a no-hitter, so you have no idea what to expect from a guy that's coming up, has had success at the lower levels, and I do like Bieber. I'm very much on the exact same thought process that Noli is. I see what he does with his secondary and tertiary pitches. His slider only gets hit 202. His curveball, 207. Cutter, 250. Changeup, 231. I mean, and you pointed out right off the top of the bat, it's just his fastball that's getting hit. I watched his last game because I had a bet on the under there, or at least I had a bet on the opposing team under, and he pitched backwards, and it looked much better. I expect him to do more of that as he starts realizing, I just can't throw my fastball by guys, because the velocity drop-off is fairly significant. I mean, he was sitting 96 last year, and now he's 91, maybe 92 at the most. So I do think that Bieber, as he starts figuring out how to pitch backwards, pitch more like a Greg Maddux and less like a John Schmaltz, that he's going to have more success. I would look under here, if anything, but the whole prospect, the whole first-time pitching, that's just going to keep me off of almost every single game where there's a first start of a major league career.
Yeah, I agree. I think the market move, if there had also been a market move towards the under, I think that I would. I think just the weather is too offensive for me to trust an under. And we saw what happened when two excellent pitchers faced off yesterday in hot, humid Cleveland weather. They both got touched, and that's McKenzie and Gallen. I think
that's a great point.
It's enough to keep me off at this point, but it's too bad because I kind of like these lefties that come up. I think that I wish I had spreadsheet proof of their success, these lefties that come up, but you're right. We don't know what Henry's going to do. Real Deal Prime says, can Henry come up with an outing? I guess this will keep me off of all of it.
Although, I do trust trust younger pitchers in Arizona. It's been a while since I've heard Jose give the shout out to Brent Strom. He's one of the best pitching coaches around. I've met him multiple times, and he knows how to get big time pitchers to focus in on big moments. He's so good about just the mental approach, keeping consistent routines. And we've seen it with multiple pitchers having career years with the Diamondbacks. So if there's one thing that would kind of push me, it would definitely be the idea that it's more likely that Henry has a better start because of his pitching coach, Brent Strom. But that's not a big enough angle for me to just go, I'm going to play that every single time.
Coin is on the under 8.5 here at -110. He's also on the Atlanta over 7.5 and Casey first 5 money line. This is too bad. I kind of wanted to move on this game, and I will not be able to. So that's it is what it is. We still have 19 minutes. I'm almost done getting my action in for Rays' first 3 and Phillies' first 5. That game, the Phillies Braves, starts in 28 minutes, and we have Moose all over it. He's on Phillies first 5 plus 111, first 5 team total over 1.5 for the Phillies -126, and Morton under 6.5 Ks at -110. And it's too bad. I'm going to stay off that spot. All right, let's move on to 110. So this will be our last game at 1:10 p.m. Then we'll move into the 2 o'clock games. And this is what we have just spoken about. Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Twins Target Field. And we have arrived at a special spot, the corner of Taint and Ron Crawford Boulevard, both on the Minnesota Twins today. Taint -1.5, Ron Crawford -1. And Sammy Calmer says, I love the Twins here. Ooh. Jeff Gourley says we all know Jimmy's got the Tigers. Let's break this down. I've not bet this game yet. You know my affinity for the Tigers. It hurt me yesterday. Not Flush says thanks to Jimmy putting a dent in my income now that Caden feels the need to collect every damn new hat that drops in lids. I like it. I respect it, and I like to hear it. All right, let's go. Tigers 42-63, 17-36 on the road at the Twinkies, 54-49, 28-23 at home. We're at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We will start with the weather in Minnesota. 85 Fahrenheit, 12.8 miles per hour to right, goes up to 15 miles per hour. Wow, it gets hot. I'm going to refresh it too and see if we can. That's the latest here. Wow. Yeah, 12.9 it starts at and gets up to 15. Very offensive weather in Minnesota. Tyler Alexander going up against Joe Ryan. Let's see where the line history has gone in this one. We have a 5-cent move to the Tigers. Initially, within 38 minutes of this line being opened up, there was a 20-cent move to the Twins. It's all come back, which is very interesting. This total opened up at 8.5 juice to the under. It's now 8.5 juice to the over. And we get into the cash flow in this one. What the hell is it? We have 3,959 tickets in. Slight line value on the Tigers. 86% of the tickets on the Twins. 54% of tickets on the over. I think maybe we're going to leave this Sports Insights alone. It's not enough information for us today for whatever reason. Tyler Alexander coming off 5-3 loss to the Jays. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 1 K, 1 walk. 4.10 ERA, 1.31 whip on the season. And the Twins hit lefties pretty hard. 246, 719 OPS. Joe Ryan coming off. Joe Ryan's allowed 14 home runs on the year on 85 2/3. 5 of them were in his last start in 4 2/3 and a 10-1 loss at the Padres. They just ate him up. At home, he's been good this year. 3-2, 3.05 ERA, 186 opponents batting average. Tigers just hit 213, 586 OPS versus righties. Tigers bullpen being so good this year now at 3.00 ERA, 1.19 whip. Twins bullpen 3.86 ERA, 1.25 whip. I think will be their downfall as we get through the dog days of summer into the stretch. Take it away here, Moose. Tigers, Twins.
I mean, first off, I would be dumb not to ask what the -1 would be in the Twins, because that's just when you see the spreadsheet and you see the Taint line up, that's a follow for the most part. And that's one thing that I didn't really look at before, but if that's something that I could play with the money coming back, that's something I want to look at for sure. But I do have a play in this game. I did take the under. I took the under 8.5, and a lot of it is based off of Joe Ryan having a big bounce back, as well as Tyler Alexander and the Tigers bullpen doing really well. I get that the Twins have had some success recently versus lefties, but that success is starting to get reined in a little bit. They have not been nearly as good the last couple of times. I just watched them against Sean Manaea, where they hit some balls hard, but Manaea was also getting a lot of strikeouts. I believe he got like 7 or 8 in that game in just 6 innings. And I think Joe Ryan is going to have a bounce back. There is one issue that I do see, and it's something that Jose's brought up, and that's once a pitcher is at their career high in pitches for the season, it's more than likely going to be a fade situation. And Joe Ryan, I believe, is now at his career high. I believe he's either right there, about to eclipse it, or he's already eclipsed it. So that is something that does give me a little pause, but it's the Tigers offense that has just been absolutely horrendous. The Tigers bullpen, which has been pretty damn good for the most part the entire season. And right now their ERA the last month is a 2.8 ERA, 233 batting average against, 3.64 FIP. So all those things indicate that the bullpen is still very sturdy, very rock solid. And I don't trust the Twins to put up a ton of runs. If they do, it'll probably be early. So maybe trying to cash like a Twins first 5 over, but I'm on the full game under 8.5. I would love to also try to add the Twins -1. Just, it's something I was looking at, but the price was just really tough to jump on.
And that will be turning into a 9 before opening pitch. It looks like that 8.5 is now at plus money, plus 103 over at Pinnacle. Do you want the 8.5 at plus 103, or would you prefer the 9 at minus 121?
Give me the 8.5.
All right, let's see what Circa's offering over there. Man, I used to think Circa was giving us such great numbers. It seems like those days are over. Plus 102 over at Circa for the 8.5. So plus 103 at Pinnacle. Let's lock you in there. Under 8.5 at plus 103. So the weather here does not. I noticed that a lot of times we can overvalue weather, but does that not concern you? The offensive
100%.
weather here?
100%, especially since Joe Ryan just gave up 5 home runs and you're dealing with elements that are more conducive to home runs. 100%. But the other part of that is the Tigers got to hit them, and they have not been a really huge offensively. They're not a big home run power output team. They have some guys that can do it. Javier Baez is more than capable. Miguel Cabrera more than capable, but their offensive power numbers have not been there. And if you're telling me that runs are going to have to come through the home run, I'll feel pretty good about that, especially with a Tigers bullpen that hasn't given up a ton of home runs. 0.84 home runs per 9 innings over the last month. So
your action correlates with a strong start from Joe Ryan.
Yes.
Are you deeming the Twins too expensive right now? Too big of a favorite to bet?
Yeah, 100%. If it was somewhere where I could build a 1 at like a -120, -125, that'd be enticing to me. I would jump on that, but I don't think that's possible. I think a -1 would be like what, -140, -145.
Don play in the house. Great to see you. Buxton is in. He's DHing. Real Deal Prime says Detroit will help Ryan. No trouble. Real Deal Prime says don't back Detroit bats, folks. Matt Paulins under 2.5 Ks at plus 130 for Matt Paulins. For Alexander, under 2.5 Ks at plus 130. Has clipped 2 Ks only once this season. That was his first start back in April. Wow, nice look there for Matt Paulins. Big plus line there. And again, Joe Yerkford saying that after a loss, Minnesota 30-18, 5th best in the league. Okay. Interesting. Nutplus John says, in my opinion, it's a losing system on betting on dumpster fires the later the season gets. We watched Elio stop betting on the worst few teams in the league with great success. Whereas, in other sports, we always talk about how you can get a ton of value off of the worst 5 teams in the league. And in CFL, enormous value off these worst 2 teams, the Ticats and the Redblacks, in my estimation. But I hear that. And then we watched the work with Elio. Moose on the under 8.5 at plus 103. And I need to make a decision on whether I will be rolling with Taint and Spreadsheet. But we have Taint and Spreadsheet on the same side. And we've also now changed music in the background for Taint. I guess, I don't know. People got wind of what music we were using for the background of Taint. So let's hear the new music on our Taint video. Let's just stop that right there. That's fucking terrible.
It seems like Victor in Vegas has just,
What did we do?
no, by the way,
It's fucking awful.
That's
so bad.
That's the worst. Both of them together. He just
you can tell.
By the way, I got a call from Victor at the top of the show, and it seems like the Daily Sesh guys have just run him ragged. Like he texted me and he said, I haven't even gotten a blanket yet. And I was like, oh my God. And he called me today, and I've never heard someone like it seemed like he was just like so broken already. And I asked Victor to do this, and he's a tired man. Shout out to Victor.
I haven't even got a blanket yet. We have Victor's t-shirts ready. That I haven't even got a blanket yet with just one tier going down. Wow, that was some very disappointing work on our musical background there for Taint. We won't play that again. AOD asking if he's on shrooms. I wish we all were.
I think Victor is, though.
Yeah, I haven't even got a blanket yet. What are you, 6?
No, I mean, hey, I would want to sleep with a blanket personally. That's just me. I don't know.
I think you should be capable of procuring a blanket.
I don't know, man. He just called me and he was like, "Hey," and just nothing. And he's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I'm doing the show, Victor." I don't know, man. It was weird, but hey.
Did he call you for a blanket?
Apparently.
Please send me a blanket.
I don't know. I'm scared. Dutch
Right.
and Cab and all those guys just run them ragged.
Okay. That was the worst. Okay, we move on. I've got to decide about this twin spot here. And I think everybody's saying that Joe Ryan's going to bounce back here, and we shouldn't worry about any kind of arm fatigue.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Minnesota, Detroit, all their games 9-6 under 8.5 runs. And I think recently, too, a lot of them have gone under.
Oh, I feel you. I'm going to take a little bit more time on it. Let's move on to 5 p.m. Eastern. This was the only bet I made pre-show, and it is my belief in young Kyle Bradish, which you guys may think is absolutely nuts with a 7.01 ERA in 51 1/3. But I believe in this kid. I think he's going to be a really good pitcher. Will it start today? Look, I don't know. We're in Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. Orioles, Texas Rangers. Bradish versus Martin Perez. Orioles versus lefties, 229, 671 OPS. Rangers versus righties, 238, 679 OPS. They don't hit the opposition. Then both bullpens are good. The Orioles bullpen being excellent all year. Rangers bullpen not so much. We'll break down the pitching matchup here in a second. We know the roof will be closed as it is extremely hot in Texas right now. But let's talk about the line movement. There's been a 5-cent move to the Orioles. And from a total perspective, it went from 8 to 7.5. It's interesting. It's interesting that it's at 7.5 right now because I should have moved on it. I wasn't sure if goddamn, I could have moved on it. I was staring at this first 5 at 4 just because I don't have that much faith in the bullpen of the Rangers anymore, even though they've been pretty good all year. I couldn't do it. But it's still right there. So the total's come from 8 to 7.5, but this first 5 is at 4. Dom play. I'm about to press the button. Rays first 3 minus 115, and the Phillies first 5. It's all set up. I just haven't pressed the button here. I'm going to do that here when the breakdown from Moose Money on Orioles Rangers. Okay, Bradish, 4th round pick out of New Mexico State in 2018. Listen, these are his numbers in AA, AAA. 3-1, 1.30 ERA, 0.61 WHIP, 32 Ks in 27 2/3, 4 walks, and he's allowed 1 home run in 27 2/3. I mean, that's just elite stuff. Also, he has a month to play in the minors, and I love that shit. I love when you can get a young pitcher who sits in the minors for a month and realizes, okay, this is what I got to do to stay in the show. Martin Perez has been very good this year, and I wonder if I should add the first 5 under 4 to my action. In his last start, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 7-2 win at the Angels. Why was he not moved at the deadline? I don't understand. I mean, I don't get it.
I thought they were trying to be buyers for a second before they kind of started struggling.
Same here. Thanks, Latsy. Yeah, I got an eye on the clock. Why don't you take it away here? I'm going to get my action in Orioles, Rangers, Globe Life Field, and Arlington.
I mean, first off, I love the fact that I love when guys kind of have pitchers that they go, hey, I really believe in this. It doesn't happen enough. It seems like people are more willing to just absolutely shit on somebody rather than try to find the beauty. But I'm going to kind of shit on Kyle Bradish here a little bit.
Sure.
His ERA is 7.01, but his expected ERA 5.65. So I get that there's probably going to be a little bit of improvement. Expected batting average 285, expected slug 486. His issue in the big leagues has really been the fact that people are just crushing his fastball. His fastball is getting hit at 380. The expected batting average is going to be 318. But it's one of those things where I get that he's probably going to figure it out. It's never a guarantee. You never know when some of these guys are going to figure it out at the big league level. There's a number of guys that have had excellent minor league careers, but just never figured it out at the big league level. I'm not saying Bradish is going to be one of those guys, but at least for right now, he has not done anything to prove that he should be at the major league level right now. His fastball is still getting hit way too much. He needs to be better. He needs to be more refined with it. But the Orioles bullpen is a huge advantage here, in my opinion. The Rangers bullpen was decent for a while, but recently their bullpen has struggled. It is actually one of the worst bullpens, 5.12 ERA over the last month. They've got a 268 batting average against. So if you're going Orioles full game, I don't hate that at all, but I am on the Rangers first 5.
Yeah, I get it. And I may be trying to be whatever, too cute, too smart, whatever you call it. But I think that his numbers in AAA, although the sample size is small, are as elite as they come. So
I just got a text message from Victor saying I woke up and puked, so that's how my day started. And he's very hungover, so I just thought I'd let everyone know. That was just 2 minutes ago.
All right.
The standards on that breaking news are getting lower and lower.
They are. He still doesn't have his blanket. Still doesn't have his banky.
Oh man, that can make you feel way better about some of the things you're doing with the Daily Sesh guys. You might need that security blanket.
I need my banky.
I mean, especially with some of the videos those guys show you. Holy shit!
Somebody get me my banky. Orioles, Rangers. So I hear what you're saying, and don't you feel like the market is telling you the Bradish is going to have a real nice start here?
Yeah, I do, and I'm hoping for like a 2-1 type start to the game. Rangers have a 2-1 lead. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I would not be shocked if the Orioles are right there in it. It's Martin Perez, and he's been really good all year, but it's still a guy that could easily blow up. We've seen it happen pretty recently, but he hasn't done it all that much. I do. If it's a question of backing Martin Perez or Kyle Bradish, my money is going to go on Martin Perez every single time. And I get, I think it was Joe Marianaccio. He just said the Orioles traded their best bullpen arm. And that is true. They did trade away, but they still have other guys. It's not like it was just one dude in their bullpen that was locking it down. Their bullpen numbers are still outstanding. They rank 4th in baseball right now in terms of bullpen efficiency in the last month.
Last year, I did this exact thing with Tristan McKenzie. He was bad all year, really bad. Went down in the minors for a month, came back, and made us, real cash. He was not respected by the markets, and he, after sitting in the minors for a month, that was a nice start at Cincinnati. 7 strikeouts, no walks. His first start in the big leagues in 6 weeks. I think that, I look, I've said enough. I'm on the Orioles full game. Let's line shop for you on the Rangers first 5. What do you think of the first 5 under 4? Roof closed.
I don't have any issues with it. I mean, I would be under of anything. It would be Bradish would be one of the big reasons why I would stay off the first 5 under. The Rangers bullpen would be the big reason why I'd stay off the full game under. It's just is Bradish going to get hit around? He's definitely given up his hits per, or at least his whip has been based off of people getting hits. There haven't been too many walks, but it's still one of those things. It's a lean to me. I just couldn't really get there, but I think the first 5 under would probably be better than the full game under.
All right. Okay. I feel you, man. So you want the Rangers -0.5 or money line?
Yeah, -0.5.
-0.5. I got -108 here. Let's move over to Circa, see what they're offering you on the run line. Oh, wow. Much better. You're -0.5 at +100.
There you go. Let's get it.
All right. All right. Moose is in. Moose first 5 under, or sorry, first 5 Rangers -0.5 at +100. Moose, we should have done this off the top. I know a lot of the guys know you, but why don't you give us a quick little breakdown of your baseball background and why?
Yeah. That's actually one of the things I tend to do is I don't even introduce myself. I just kind of start talking. I'd rather get to know people rather than have them figure out what I'm all about. I am a pitching coach and a teacher, substitute teacher right now. So don't go like, oh, thank you for all your service. I'm just a sub right now, still trying to get that full-time job. But as a pitching coach, went down the rabbit hole big time. I've coached at the high school level for about 15 years. I've coached collegiately for a couple years. I coached last summer in the Pacific Shore Leagues. I won Manager of the Year. So kudos to me. Cool. But I'm just a baseball guy. I've been following the show for a couple years now. So, started from the chat. Now I'm here. And I love doing this. Like when I started getting into sports gambling, it was much more about kind of having something on the line. And now it's turned into just a community that I have fallen in love with. If you're new to the channel, if this is like one of your first times, you found the right place. Like 100%. This is the community that you want to start investing in because there's so many amazing people from Nut Flush to Wham. I mean, there's just so many different types of cappers that have so many things to offer. And the fact that I'm able to contribute anything is just such a blessing for me. But that's just me being who I am. I'm a teacher and a coach, but above anything, I am a baseball guy.
I love that breakdown. That's fucking dope, man. Those of you watching right now, we got a whole huge group of games to go through. We're only about a third of the way in, but do jump on Twitter and follow our guy Moose Money Bets. Let's build this following, and I love capping with them. This has been great. All right, let's keep rolling. So Moose moves on the first 5 Rangers -0.5 at +100. I am on the Orioles at +135, thinking very closely about the first 5 under 4. When I was looking this morning, I was like, give me a 4.5, give me a 4.5, give me a 4.5. And of course, it was a 4. Of course. Okay, let's move on to the Boston Red Sox and what a fucked up team this is. We must bring Jose Bouquet
We're back
here.
baby. We're back. Come on. How about it?
I don't.
Playoffs are on.
Okay, well, let's talk about this spot. They're beating up on the Astros right now, just
Bunch
like
of bitches
before them.
Like they're fans there. Jimmy, you saw those loud claps. You know what that was.
Yeah.
Fucking, they were sick. It was fucked up too. They gave up the 2021 AL Championship replica night when I was there, and I fucking took that ring and I fucking shoved it up their ass with fucking my baby boy Rafael Devers and my least favorite player on the Red Sox, Jarren Duran. Let's fucking go.
Duran, he looked very good.
3-6 lifetime now at Minute Maid. How about
Let's
it?
talk about it. We got Rich Hill going up against Jose Urquidy, and Rich Hill has been very good on the road this year. 3-1, 2.84 ERA, 216 opponent's batting average. In his last start, he allowed 3 earned runs over 4 2/3 in a 6-5 loss to the Cubs. I mean, clearly they'll do whatever necessary to ensure that the lineups only see him twice at the most. Urquidy has been good. I was impressed. He had back-to-back starts against the A's, back-to-back starts against the Mariners. And we're not talking about teams that ripped the leather off the ball, but that's not easy, and he was good in those games. 3.86 ERA, 1.21 whip on the season. Has allowed 17 home runs, though, in 107 in the third. His last start, he went 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-2 win at home over the Mariners. At home, he's been very good this year. 2.64 ERA, 230 opponent's batting average. The Red Sox don't have a lot of power versus righties, 257.09 OPS, while the Astros versus lefties, 247.41 OPS. They're starting to hit them hard. And the Astros bullpen, the best in the league. Let's take a look at the line history, and then we'll take another look, I guess, at the Sports Insights one more time. By the way, Lourdes Gurriel, after me saying he's the most confident hitter in the league, doubles to get that game started in Tampa. Not good for me. Astros, Red Sox. Let's just move over the line. Oh, is it not Rich Hill?
I officially,
Do you have Bayo?
I had Bayo to start.
I had Bayo.
But I think, this is me talking my ass here. I thought they might go Rich Hill to start and then bring Bayo in like they did last time with Austin Davis and Rich Hill and Bayo, and it seemed to work out pretty well. So that's what I thought it was going to happen, but, who knows? And I think Eric Hosmer will be in the lineup. By the way, Moose, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have them.
Thank you for free.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Love that.
That's kind of his trademark. It is right there. Is a free or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Take it. I'm glad. Love it.
So, by the way, it's still some sites still have Dick Mountain, and
first start off the IL for Dick Mountain. Surprisingly, still in the Red Sox, Dick Mountain too.
And the books have him here. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be a Dick Mountain Brian Bayo combo today.
I don't mind that combo. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks in the house. He's moving on the Braves plus with $200 Braves money line. So we have had a big move to the Boston Red Sox. The Astros have gone from minus 225 all the way down to minus 185. So a big move there. This total opened up at 8.5. It went to 9 at 10:51 a.m. and is back at 8.5. So, and then,
I thought all these games were going to go over, and absolutely none of them have. So the totals have been really fucked for me.
Okay, let's just see if we got. No, there's no. I'm gonna let. I think I'll let Sports Insights go. But Boston, Houston, can they give us any help here? We have almost like I'd say 40% line value on the Red Sox, but 85% of the tickets are on the Astros, and 91% of tickets are on the over. Jose Bouquet, your Red Sox are in play. Take it away.
Man, these fickle motherfuckers, man. These motherfuckers. They play with my emotions, man. 2 weeks ago, it's sell it, everyone. We're fucking done. And it turns out Chaim Bloom doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do either. And he's going to straddle the line between buying and selling and buying and selling. Personally, I'm not going to bet this game because I thought this would be the game where Brian Bayo comes out here and gets fucking rocked against the Astros. And they get their they get their 1 out of the 3, whatever, we move on with our lives. But I don't know. I think the Astros lineup the last couple of days without Vasquez and Mancini was kind of lacking. And I was kind of surprised by that. And of course, I've said this all year, their bullpen has the best ERA, but I think it's their weakness by far. I don't trust their bullpen at all. And it's tough to have many teams that you do trust. So truthfully, I guess I'm leaning Red Sox or pass here again, which is shocking to say. I won my first Red Sox bet in what feels like forever in this series. Shout out to my baby, well, not my baby boy. I still don't like him, Jarren Duran. But it's going to be interesting, and confirmed lineups are out. Bobby's playing first, and public masturbator Reese McGuire starting at catcher. So it should be an interesting time to see what happens here.
Yeah, I think a lot of those sentiments I hold as well. I do like the Hill Bayo combo. Moose, what do you think of this Red Sox Astros spot?
This is a complete stay off for me. I don't know what I'd be getting from Urquidy. I look at his metrics, and his metrics just indicate that there's going to be some major regression coming at some point. And I don't know when. He's pitched so much better at home, so I'd imagine that that regression's probably going to happen on the road. But you look at some of the things that go on with his stats. His fastball expected batting average is 290, but it's really his slug. What teams are expected to do is slugging 559, 455, 518, all against his four-seam fastball, his curveball, and his slider. I expect that Urquidy at some point is going to probably come back into that kind of middle range, like a 4.5, 4.5 plus pitcher. But I'm not banking on that happening today. No idea where the Red Sox are right now. I mean, if there's anybody that should be commenting and being listened to on what the Red Sox are doing, it would definitely be Jose.
What fucking freaks. They're
just like, I mean, Eric Hosmer, I mean, what direction is going? I totally understand. You got him for free, but what's the deal with Dahlbeck? Is that already done? Weren't you guys trying Franchy Cordero at first base? I mean,
yeah, that's why I'm so happy that Eric Hosmer is on this team, Moose. Eric Hosmer has been dog shit for the Padres, and he's been like an anchor for the last 2 years. At least that's what AJ Preller thinks. He's been trying to trade him forever now. And the Red Sox have literally had the worst first base defender maybe of all time in Franchy Cordero, and maybe the worst defender of all time. Like, I've never seen someone as bad at defense in the major league level as Franchy Cordero. And offensively, he was doing well at first, and now he's fucking terrible again. So I'm just happy, Moose, that I have a guy that can catch the ball at first base, because I have seen so many times this year fucking a little bit of a low throw have to go like this, bam, off out of the glove, out. And it's just so sickening. So literally all I care about is Eric Hosmer, one, being a good clubhouse guy, which obviously he is.
Yeah, he is.
Two, catching the ball at first base. That is the low bar we have to get over here in Boston. And I think he'll be a Boston guy and be loved.
Yeah, and the only issue with Hosmer is he's actually kind of turned into a dude that needs a defensive replacement. He's had a really rough defensive year. So I hope he does well for you guys, but he's had some issues catching the baseball. He's had some issues.
It literally cannot be worse than Franchy Cordero. I'll update you guys in 2 weeks to let you guys know, but I've never seen something like it. Franchy Cordero's an outfielder too, and he's horrible.
Yeah, he was here. We had Cordero when he hit a ball like 580 feet.
Yes, that was my one thing when I held on to it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my one thing that I can think he's a good player. But no, he sucks. And but the Red Sox are back. I hate to inform everyone. The Red Sox are back, only 2 games out of the wild card. We had literally one of the worst months in franchise history. And now we're about to sweep the Astros and come up for air. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen now?
Well, we are all staying off this spot. Red Sox, Astros. Jose, you wanted to talk Royals, White Sox, right? That was a possible say, hey, well, let's get into it right now. Royals 41-63, 19-33 on the road to the Chicago White Sox, 52-51, 24-29 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Waiting for these White Sox to make that run as long as La Russa can stay awake for it. Let's move over to the weather here in Chicago. And big shout out to Billy Friedrich, seeing his first White Sox game in 15 years. He will be there this evening. It is hot. So hot. It is so hot. Well, he gave us a foot on the ground breakdown of how hot it was here. Maybe I should use it.
Hey, by the way, Jimmy, it's boots. Boots on the ground.
What did I say?
Feet.
Okay.
Feet on the ground. We're boots on the ground like the Army. We find the weather reports. We're gritty, we're grimy, and we wear boots to signify it.
He says 90 degrees, heat index of 105. He'll be 19 rows back of the White Sox dugout. Yes, 92 Fahrenheit, 105 is what it feels like. And it's windy, 16 miles per hour. It stays between 15.3 and 16.1, but right to left, right across the plate, right to left. All right, it is 1-0 Jays here now. Brady Singer going up against Lance Lynn. And my first thought was, man, do I want to fade Brady Singer after that spectacular start in New York? I want to so badly.
You have an addiction to Lance Lynn. You have an addiction that can't be stopped.
Well, I love Brady Singer.
I don't know that. After
Oh,
that
yeah.
comment, I don't. I think you have an
But
addiction.
he was one
to
of my
shapely
5
men.
starters. These are 2 of my 5 starters going up against each other. There's been a 20-cent move to the Royals, and that will be enough to keep me off. But a one hitter over 7 innings in New York. I
Yeah,
want
you
to
showed his
fade you.
Papa. You showed them who's Papa right there. Come on.
10-cent move to the over 8.5. 10-cent over to the 8.5. There's Robert Cherry in the house. Great to see you, Robert. Officer of 50 in the house. Singer against Lynn, 20-cent move. And what was and then 10-cent move to the over. Okay. So Lance Lynn coming off a 7-3 loss at home to the A's. He did not look good. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 8 Ks, no walk, 6.42 ERA, 1.36 whip. God, he's been bad. 10 home runs allowed in 47 2/3. Brady Singer on the road's been lights out. 2.97 ERA, 204 opponents batting average. Last start, 10 Ks, 1 walk, and a 1-0 loss at the Yankees, allowing 0 earned runs. Royals versus righties, 243. 676 OPS. We're waiting for power from the right side from the White Sox. Still waiting, but a little more lately. 253, 682 OPS. Royals bullpen bad. White Sox bullpen starting to look good. Joe Yerver says Lynn will sweat off a lot of that excess weight today. You put it very nicely. All right, Jose, it's your spot. Say hey, play of the day upcoming.
Well, yeah, I've been off the Lance Lynn wagon for a while. He had a good start against Cleveland 2 starts ago, technically, I guess. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned run, 6 Ks. That was okay. Well, maybe Linner's got some signs of life here. And then he followed that up with an Oakland start that was atrocious. It's going to be funny to say this out loud, but Oakland's second against righties since the All-Star break, so maybe we can give him a pass. I don't think so. I think he's personally done here. I like the Royals team total over 3.5 here at -114 on Pinnacle. Obviously, like again, Moose Money said, Bovada is down, so I have not made the bet on it officially here. But I just don't believe in Lance Lynn anymore. I've thought he's done. I like Brady Singer a lot. I don't want to fade him personally because I think he's been, I was dead wrong about Brad Keller being the Royals' best starter here. But I've said this plenty of times. I was texting my guy that's a Royals fan. And I always tell him, "Where's Brady Singer? Brady Singer's a good pitcher. Why isn't he up?" Comes up, does well, continues to pitch well, and I'd love to see him pitch well against the Yankees last time out. So I just think that Lance Lynn is past his expiration date is basically the genesis of this bet. So Royals team total over 3.5, even though they are a very maddening team to bet on. I think the Royals are one of my most bet on teams this year, and it's not because they're a good squad. It's just because they're like -300 against them, or there's just a low team total that I'm interested in. And I don't have it not calculated that record, obviously, but it seems like every other day I'm on the Royals, and it's a little frustrating, truthfully, but I like the numbers. So,
Interesting. And the pimp slot play today on KC first 5 plus a half. Royals team total over 3.5 for you. Say hey at -115. Did you say?
14.
-114. There's not a chance I would back Brady after him being spectacular in the greatest moment of his young career and all that stuff. That's just my thought process. Let's hear what Moose has to say. Royals, White Sox.
I mean, that was almost literally what I was going to say. It's tough to jump on Singer here after such an amazing start because it's the whole philosophy of fading a pitcher that just threw a no-hitter because they're coming in just sky high emotionally, that kind of hubris, that arrogance, that, this game is easy. This game will humble you very quickly. And I could very easily see that happening here. So it's a stay off for me. I did look at the Royals, just kind of like, maybe he continues his success. But once I saw their offense, I don't really want to go through all their offensive numbers since Jose's literally on their team total. But it's not exactly conducive to scoring runs. So it's just one of those things that I just kind of stayed off. Lance Lynn is turning into somewhat of an enigma. And I wish I could back him. I backed him a couple weeks ago when he gave up, I think, 6 runs really quickly. So this is just a stay off for me. I'd probably be on the Royals side, if anything. But Singer coming off that huge start, Royals bullpen, not great. So stay off for me.
Stay off for me as well. Dom Play says, would you take the under 7.5 in Braves Philly? One of the rules I use for live betting is I only make a move on a live bet if I have a plan for the game and something goes against me really early and gives me, and I still agree with my breakdown and it's gone against me really early, so I'm getting a better line. I'll never bet live if it's going with me early. Getting a worse, being right after the first inning and getting a worse line, I'll never ever bet. So it's got to correlate sort of with the way you think the game will bang out, but have gone against you right off the top, so that you're getting a better line. Just if you kind of focus with that, I think it will help. Slatsy says he'd rather bet on Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn, Bob. Do you know who he's referring to there, Jose? Loretta Lynn. Beautiful young woman chopped the dick off of her husband. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Loretta Lynn Bobbitt, I believe.
There you go.
I believe that's who he's referring to. Dick chopper. Bit of a dick chopper, that one.
By the way, speaking of dick choppers, Lance Lynn career numbers against the Royals are very, very good. Last year specifically, 2-0 with a 0 ERA against them, 14 innings pitched. So obviously Lance Lynn has had success against them in the past, but I don't think that's the same Lance Lynn is again what the point is. So I don't know if anyone said that in the chat, but I just wanted to make that point clear. You know, playing devil's advocate of both sides. So yeah, wow, dick choppers, huh?
Oh, they're saying that Laura Lynn is a country music star. Maybe I'm.
You were close. You were close.
Okay. All right. Jose will be back for the.
Fair enough.
But we'll dive deeper into that. Oh, he was referring to the old country singer. Okay, my bad. I was thinking he was talking about old dick chopper. But
Nasty Nate says that he thinks that she drove down the street and just threw it out the window too.
She did, yeah. She just fired out that hog, just tossed it out the window.
Could you imagine if you're just walking your kid down the street, you know, maybe you're taking the dog out and you're just walking, you see some lady speed past you and you just see something flop out, you just hear, it's just a dick on the floor?
We use road, boots on the ground, dick on the road.
Dick on the street, whatever. Yeah, you know.
This is a fantastic conversation.
All right. Jose will be back with us for the Padres game, but please, could you look up while you are backstage? Look up Lorena Bobbitt. Give us some something. We're gonna need.
I thought it was Loretta Lynch.
No, I messed it up. It's Bobbitt. She's the dick chopper.
Okay.
She's the dick chopper. All right. That is all of the. Oh, wait, is that all? Yeah, that is all of the afternoon action. So let's review afternoon action one more time. And not a good start for my Rays. First three in -115. It's 1-0 Jays. God, I don't know why I was back in that Rays lineup. So shitty. Phillies first 5 + 111. We're done the first inning in Philly, Atlanta, and both Morton and Wheeler have taken care of business. There's a first 5 team total over 1.5 and Morton under 6.5 Ks. Those are Moose's action, and I did run with them on the Phillies first 5 at +110. We stayed off of Mariners, Yankees, and Diamondbacks, Guardians. Moose is on the under 8.5 at +103 in Detroit, Minnesota, and that is the corner of Spreadsheet and Taint Boulevard. Corner of Spreadsheet and Taint Boulevard is the Minnesota Twins. Taint on -1.5, Spreadsheet at -1. And then Moose is on the Rangers first 5 -0.5. I'm on the Orioles at +135. And I'm still thinking about that first 5 under 4. We stayed off Red Sox, Astros. Say hey, play of the day. Royals team total over 3.5. Pimp slap play of the day. Kansas City first 5 +0.5. And that's where we are. All right. We move on to 4:05 p.m.
Oh, my God. You'll never believe this, Jimmy.
What's going on?
You will never believe this.
You do look shocked.
I'm crying. I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
Loretta, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
Immigrated from Venezuela.
Oh.
We're cutting dicks, baby. Look at these tears. We're back again. Let's go.
That is a weird thing to hang your hat on.
Congratulations. He's proud. He's proud of his people, man.
Yeah, you can see it.
Proud of his people. Look at that guy. There he is. All right. We move on. We move on to 4:05 action here. New York Mets at Washington Nationals. Mets 65-38, 34-21 on the road. At the Nationals, 36-69, 17-39 at home. We're at Nationals Park in D.C. Bassett versus Anibal Sanchez. Let's start with the weather over there in Washington. At Nationals Park, we have 91 Fahrenheit. Feels like 95, 4.6 miles per hour out to right center. Between 4.6 and 4.9 throughout the game. Then we'll go over to the line history in this spot. Nationals, Mets, after that huge win by the Nats yesterday, so perfectly called by our Nut Flush Allen. There's been a 20-cent move to the Mets, minus 250 to minus 270. This total opened up at 9.5, juice to the under, and 3 hours later it moved to 9. That's where it is right now. It's sitting at 9, and I'm gonna.
I got bad news.
What's that?
She was born in Ecuador and was grew up in Venezuela, so I can't claim her. Fuck.
Okay. All right, that's too bad. That is too bad. 95% of the tickets and 97% of the cash is on the Mets. 96% of the tickets are on the over. 96% of tickets. We don't have the cash flow yet. I think I'm gonna not go back to Sports Insights for and I'm gonna keep doing it if I keep clicking on it. Is there any game that has all the information? No. I'm gonna ditch it. I'm gonna fucking ditch it. All right. Let's move on here. Moose money bets. We have Bassett coming off a poor performance on the road. It was a 6-4 win, but light hitting Miami got to him. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 Ks, 4 walks. On the road, he's 5-2 with a 4.83 ERA, 245 opponent's batting average. Sanchez is not looking good, although we did cash the under in his last start, 6-2 win at home versus the Cards. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, 2 walks. He did not help us. Mets versus righties, 260, 739 OPS. Nats versus righties, 246, 91 OPS. Mets bullpen being very good this year, 3.50 ERA, 1.21 whip. Nats bullpen a little better of late, 4.19 ERA, 1.31 whip on the season. Converted 18 of 28. Take it away, Moose, Mets, Nats.
I mean, I think if I remember correctly, a lot of people were expecting Bassett to struggle against Miami because, dude, sorry, my dog's trying to make an appearance here. Okay. It's one of those things where Bassett saw the Marlins repeatedly, and this is only going to be the second time that he's seen the Nationals. And I do like Annabelle to keep it, at least in terms of just lower scoring. I don't trust him as a complete game under, but if you look at just his split between his ERA and what his expected ERA is, it is significant. 7.47 ERA and his expected ERA of 3.29. Expected batting average 217, expected slug 362. So there's a lot of reasons to expect Anibal Sanchez to pitch well and hold the Mets offense down. That's not something I'm going to back, but one of the things that I kind of found interesting was that Bassett's strikeouts was only 5.5, and it's a Washington Nationals team that is going to start striking out a little bit more when you take Josh Bell out of that lineup, who was a big reason why they were keeping that strikeout total down. The Nationals were not a team that was striking out a lot earlier in the year. It's been happening more recently. They ranked 23rd in terms of the strikeouts per game, and that's something that I kind of found interesting. Bassett can get his strikeouts. He averages, he's in the 65th percentile for strikeouts, so I took Chris Bassett strikeouts over 5.5.
Bassett over 5.5 strikeouts for Moose. And what was that at?
I got that at minus 103.
Minus 103. Joe Yurkovich says Mets after a loss 28-9, number 1 in the league. Mike M says Domi put us on that Mets team total over a week or so back, and that's a good run today. Lit Pick says Moose speaking facts. BJ says I think Nationals got their only win for the series, which was yesterday. Today, Mets.
I actually like that. What Lit Picks just said. If you added a Bassett with the money line, I really like that if you can get plus money on it. But it is Anibal Sanchez. I do think that he could have a better performance. There is a little bit of a kind of sneaky little angle where you could back Anibal because he has been pitching well. And the Nationals bullpen has also been doing really well recently. 187 average against in the last month for the Washington Nationals bullpen.
Wow. I didn't realize it was quite that good. Wow. An Officer of 50 finding you a much better line on FanDuel. So we'll give you that right now.
Oh, absolutely. Awesome.
Give you that plus 116 over at FanDuel. I'd love to move on the Sanchez is just so good at getting soft contact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me on the under in the last game. I was fortunate to get there.
I wanted a 9.5 on the under, but it didn't get there. I'm still looking at the 9. That was something I literally wrote down on my notes that I wanted to check in the morning. But when I didn't see it go up, I just kind of got, it's 100% the play that I'd come in, get in the chat, wait to see what everybody says, and then kind of make my play. This is 100% that play.
Yeah, I'm going to. Okay. It did open at 9.5 and was there a short amount of time, but at this point, all the tickets are on the over. There's even so we'll see. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what it's at or where it's at the end of the show. Let's move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 42-61, 18-29 on the road at Miami Marlins, 47-57, 22-28 at home at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Mike Minor coming off a 6-2 loss at home versus the Orioles, but he looked better. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks. He's looked terrible this year. Spent the first half of the year on the IL. Has come out, played 51 1/3 innings and 6.31 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. Sandy Alcantara on his way to a Cy, coming off a bad start, 6-4 loss at home versus the Mets. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Reds 237, 681 OPS versus righties. The Marlins 214, 599 OPS versus lefties. They've dropped under that 600 OPS mark. And the Marlins bullpen starting to pitch better again, and the Reds bullpen is being mediocre of late, but worst numbers in the season, worst numbers in the league this year. Let's move over to this market move here and see what we are dealing with. We have a 15-cent move to the under and a 10-cent move towards the Marlins. Here we go, Moose. Reds, Marlins, take it away.
When I heard Hunter Engelhart talk about Mike Minor's splits between lefty and righty, it was one of those things that as you're capping, sometimes you can miss a little data point. And that is one of those data points that has been really significant in how I look at Mike Minor moving forward. I think he's going to be better served as a bullpen guy because when you have specific stats that lean you towards getting left-handed hitters out, it just seems like he's going to eventually be a bullpen piece. So if I'm trusting him, I'm only trusting him for the first couple of innings, but I'm not trying to back the Reds right now. I'm not going up against Sandy Alcantara, who's potentially the Cy Young winner right now. And I'm not sure where the competition is going to come from that, but he's got that stuff right now that you really don't want to go up against him. The Marlins aren't really hitting right now, so it's tough to back the Marlins as a side. I would definitely go to the under, but Mike Minor and unders can be really tough. I would lean towards the first 5 under, if anything, at a 3.5, but I have not gotten there.
Yeah, I could see why you would be leaning towards that. What are the tickets, at least? Though we're starting to get a few things up here on this Sports Insights board, but let's see what and I know I said I would just turn. I'm just addicted to it. I'm fucking addicted to it. 78%. Yeah, I can't stop. 78% of the tickets are on the Marlins. 51% of the tickets are on the under. Matt Holland says Marlins are unbackable at home right now, especially at this price. Yeah, I understand the price is kind of ridiculous. That first 5 under is appealing. It is appealing here against the team that we know that they just.
And Mike Minor, he has better first innings than he does later. His first inning ERA 1.8, second inning 2.7, then it jumps up to third inning 9.9. So maybe first 3 under, based off of that information.
Yeah. Are we very confident on a bounce back for Sandy? We must be.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. I mean, again, it's also kind of one of those situations where a guy that is literally the only thing going for this team is that Cy Young thing. How much do they baby him? How much do they kind of take him out with a potential lead? I don't expect that to happen here, but it's one of those things that can happen. You do see throughout the history of baseball, awards will get placed over wins.
First 3 being offered at under 1.5 at plus 110.
Yeah, it's so low, but low for a reason.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna. That's a great breakdown. I feel like if I don't talk about it longer, I'll leave money on the table. And we think, but I mean, the market knows that Minor could have a good start here, and we're just not surprising anybody. That's the problem. That first five's at 3.5, juice to the under in a Mike Minor start.
Yeah. How much of this a month ago, 2 months ago, would it have been a 7.5 or a 7? And I think that a lot of the betting market has kind of picked up on the fact that the Marlins aren't hitting. Mike Minor has done well earlier in games, so you can't really price a 4 because that would just get taken left and right. So you are going to have to look at the 3.5.
Yeah, and then it's the 5th inning that concerns me there.
Yeah,
I wonder if, and then you can't trust the if it ended up 0-0 after 5, it would be a huge shock, and that's why you can't take the Marlins because you'd have to take them more than -0.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, Go saying Mike Minor giving up 4 early. God, hard to imagine it's possible, Go, but hitting 214, 599 OPS versus lefties, it's just tricky. Mike M says Reds +1.5 in a tight game. I think we see guys like Alcantara regress a bit through the dog days. Okay, I'm going to need more time there. I have first 3 under written down, but God, under 1.5.
Yeah, it's tough.
Fuck. Okay, we'll take a little bit more time on that. Picks from Dave says, when it's this painful of a decision, better to stay off. You're probably right. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. It was a great cash on this first 5 under yesterday, trusting Bryce Wilson. It was 0-0 after 5, 3-3 after 6, so maybe we were a little fortunate. Brewers 57-46, 31-26 on the road. Pirates 41-62, 22-29 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I mean, Pete has talked to us for the last 5 years about these Pirates at home. I'd love to see 22-29 at home as with these huge dog prices. I mean, you profit them if you've been backing them day in and day out. Let's start with the weather in Pittsburgh. 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 95, 6.1 miles per hour right to left, dies down to 5, stays right to left throughout the game. Let's go over to the line history here in this one. In the Pirate spot, let's move over here. Okay, here we go. We have no movement. These Brewers opening up at -210. That's where they are right now. From a total perspective, it opened up at 8. It did go up to 8.5. And that's where it is sitting, 8.5. And Andrew G saying Kikuchi is dealing. God damn it. All right, Real Deal Prime talking about Tyler Beede and Joe Yurkovich just moved on the Royals -1 at +180. Freddie Peralta coming off the IL. May 22nd was his last start. He threw 52 pitches in his last rehab start, gave up 1 run on 3 hits, no walks, struck out 5, and hit 96 miles per hour on his fastball. Going up against Tyler Beede, who's been good, but that means it's a bullpen day. Bullpen day for these Pirates, and their bullpen has been questionable throughout the season, whereas the Brewers' bullpen we thought would be unbelievable, and they have not been this year. 3.90 ERA, 1.23 whip for the 37-50, and now don't have Hader. But it didn't matter. Williams' scoreless streak has been unbelievable if you just stop punching fucking walls. Take it away here, Moose, Brewers, Pirates.
I would love to be on the Pirates here, but I just couldn't get there, especially with the Pirates bullpen being what they are right now. In the last month, they got a 3.24 average against. That is just ridiculously bad. So I'm not trying to jump on a bullpen day and back the Pirates. I did look at an over here, but Peralta, I don't know what I'm going to get from Peralta today. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, but doesn't Loshak have a thing about pitchers that are coming back from arm injuries is a fade, whereas if it's another part of the body, it's more of a bet on?
Yes, he does. He
does. Yeah, and this is a shoulder injury, but the issue with shoulders is usually you see some diminished returns on velocity, more so than, or you see diminished returns on velocity, but more than anything, you're going to see diminished returns on control. And he didn't have any of those issues in his rehab start, so that leads me to believe he's going to be just fine here. And the Brewers have been mashing. Brewers team total over, not a bad look. But I think I'm at the point where I'm just going to stop putting any money on the Brewers. I think that they have a personal line to my Twitter account because every time I put any money on anything that's Brewers related, they find a way to just take that money from me. So I know that's a terrible way to go about things, but when you get burned time and time again in horrendous ways, I'm talking losing your money line bet with 2 outs in the 9th and Josh Hader on the mound. Padre now, but Brewer then. I stayed off, but I was looking at a Brewers team total really hard. I just didn't get there. I think this is a Brewer spot, but I really wanted to find a way to back the Pirates.
Yeah, that all is salient to me. I'm gonna have to stay off of this spot. Everybody has a team like that. Jedi Life says it's Houston for him. Yeah, this is a stay off spot. I don't know what Peralta's going to give. I would kind of like to fade, but Peralta is capable of pitching well here.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I would like to fade him though. I think there's a reason why it hasn't moved. The market hasn't moved. I'd love to see the ticket count here for these fucking Pirates. There's only one team with full line value today, and that's the final game on the card. There's no team with half line value, so it doesn't help us there either. 81% of the tickets are on Peralta, but we don't have a cash count at this point. So, all right, we move on. 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs at St. Louis Cardinals, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see what the weather is in St. Louis. It is hot and humid, 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 101, and it's blowing out to left field. It opens at 10.7 miles per hour, ends at 8.4. So very offensive weather in St. Louis. Let's take a look at the line history in this Cards-Cubs spot. Steele versus Michaelis. We have a 5-cent move to the Cubs. 5-cent move to the Cubs and Steele, and a 10-cent move to the over. Justin Steele, Miles Michaelis. Steele last start in the 4-2 loss to San Francisco. 3 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, but none of which were earned. 6 Ks and 1 walk. He's not been good on the road this year. 1-3, 4.71 ERA, 261 opponent's batting average. Lucas Ryan says it's going to rain 4 p.m. to 9 a.m. in St. Louis. Game is probably getting canceled. So, of course, he's got free tickets. I hate to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Let's see what RotoWire has to say. They don't have this game in red. They have a 17% chance of rain. Let's see what Switch has here. They have a 14% chance of rain at 7 p.m. Let me just do this very quickly so we don't sit here and waste our time on this game if it's going to get rained out. Let's see what the actual weather department says. Yeah, thunderstorms starting at 5. Scattered thunderstorms. Wow. Okay, yeah, it looks like there's a ton of precipitation. Wow, I'm surprised the games aren't talking about that. You're right. You're absolutely right. This game could very likely be rained out. It's too bad. I think this was a nice gambling situation. Cards are hitting 269, 782 OPS versus lefties, starting to smash them again. Cubs are okay versus righties. Michaelis' last start, he looked good at Washington, and he's been good at home this year. 2.31 ERA, 191 opponent's batting average. Is there anything you're looking for? Is the rain going to affect it? Take it away for us, Moose, and we can just move on if you like, but this is Cubs Cardinals.
Yeah, just really quick. One of the things I found interesting was Cubs, Justin Steele has a really bad walk rate, but the Cardinals are one of the teams that don't take a ton of walks. So that was one thing I was definitely looking at. I didn't get anywhere with it because I don't know what I'm going to get with Michaelis. You just referenced his home road splits, and he's done worse in the division. He's done much better out of the division, which makes sense to me because the divisional opponents are going to have a much better scouting report. They're going to have much more experience versus you. So it was just one of those things that I really wanted to get on the Cubs, find a way onto the Cubs. I didn't get there because of what you literally just said. Cardinals are starting to hit lefties again. Justin Steele's a lefty. So I ended up staying off, but I do like the Cubs here. I was really close to getting on them.
Which would lead us to the over. The weather is just going to cause such a problem here. 10-cent move to the over. I mean,
and St. Louis bullpen has been brutal recently. 5.82 ERA the last month or so, 4.64 4.64 FIP. And that's just not very good when you're trying to have a bullpen that's trying to compete for the NL Central crown. And I do have a futures bet on the Cardinals. So I would love, I would love for them to figure it out.
Yeah, Jose has one too, I believe. I think this is a spot where I want to move on the over regardless. The question is, if we don't get to 9 innings, I mean, is there a point to do it? Sorry, let me just quickly see what I'm being offered. I just think there's going to be offensive weather. We talked about Michaelis. Let's go right to the actual batter versus pitcher here in the Cubs Cards game. Here we go. Cubbies Cards. 3 games left on the card after this. Let's see what they do to Michaelis. Can they get to him?
They've hit him. They have. I mean, it's not a huge sample size, not a ton of power. Actually, no, I take that back. They've got 3, 4, 7 doubles against him and somewhat limited at bats. 350 average for Ian Happ. And that's another thing that I talked about this yesterday on Brothers and Bets with Picture Dave and Marley. Was what's the mentality of that Cubs clubhouse right now? They got to feel pretty good knowing that Ian Happ and Wilson Contreras are still there. That mental angles do not play a huge aspect in baseball like they do in other sports, but it can give you that confidence that if you're down a couple runs and you're much more of a positive mindset, you're more likely to stay in that game versus if it's a toxic clubhouse, that you're more likely to, let that lead implode and just balloon up.
One thing that's happened to me is because we have so many games to cap and break down, when there is a rain, I feel like just putting it aside, being like, okay, let's just.
Yes.
And I end up leaving money on the table when the game does go off, and I was like, oh, I like that angle, but I just pushed the game away. This first 5 at 4 is just too low. It's just too low. I don't know if this is gonna go, but I think this is just too low. So I'm going to bet the first 5 over 4. And if the game doesn't go... Oh, Jesus. Sorry, let me just get rid of this quickly. Here we go. They did wait. This Nude HD did wait long enough to become a subscriber. Okay, first 5 over 4, I am going to move on it. Is there anything you want to make official, or you couldn't move on the Cubs? And
yeah, the weather stuff moves me off of it, and I totally get the leaving the money on the table, but I feel like weather can really, really mess with the timing and consistency, especially if you're trying to bet an over. If it's weather, I'd rather look at an under because the bats don't have that batting practice. They don't have that time to get revved up. I mean, you can hit in the cages, but that's not nearly the same as seeing ball flight.
Yeah, oh, nice. Earl also going to be in Vegas tomorrow. I'm so jealous of you guys. All right, let's move on. We have 3 late games, 3 West Coast late games. Let's start with 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 39-65, 22-32 on the road at the LA Angels, 43-59, 23-30 at home. Remember, Peter Loshak said that try to find a way to bet the A's on the road, or at least believe in their offense on the road. The market was not going to be we were going to be able to beat the market on how the A's were going to play on the road. And look, they're now 22-32 with huge plus money cashes. Caprillion going up against Shohei Ohtani. The advanced models seem to love Caprillion. Market seems to always move in his favor or not move at all when he's a big dog. His last start, 7-3 win at the White Sox. He was very good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 4 Ks, 1 walk, 4.50 ERA, 1.29 whip. I cashed on the first 5 under in his last start. On the road, 4.44 ERA, 221 opponent's batting average, being okay. Shohei Ohtani on the other side, coming off a 2-0 loss at home versus the Rangers when Spencer Howard just went off. 2.81 ERA, 1.02 whip. At home, 5-3, 2.15 ERA, 201 opponent's batting average. The A's, 213, 614 OPS versus righties. The Angels, 232, 695 OPS versus righties. And don't forget, oh, by the way, Bovada is back for everyone. Thank you for letting us know, Earl. Don't forget that there was a time early in the year, and it wasn't that early, when the Dodgers were number 1 versus righties and the Angels were number 2. This is how far they've fallen from grace. Both bullpens are similar, although the A's bullpen's been quite a bit better of late. Let's go to the line history here as well as the weather in Anaheim. 79 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour out to right center. Hot and offensive weather here. Then we'll go to the line history in this one, and it's another situation where there's no movement with Caprillion as a big dog against Shohei. This total opened up at 7. There's been a 5-cent move to the over. The weather is just too offensive for me to think. I mean, these 2 pitchers I want to back to the under, but the weather's just too offensive. Let's hear what you have to say, Moose. Take it away, A's, Angels.
Yeah, it's definitely the weather is concerning, but I am on the under first 5, and I'm in the under full game. Caprillion is a guy that I've definitely enjoyed backing the last few starts out. I know that you look on, if you do use Baseball Savant like I do, a lot of his metrics show that he's not pitching all that well. But when you go down to his actual pitches and look at what's going on, four-seam fastball 252, slider 173, curveball 194. His changeup's getting hit, but he only throws that he only throws his changeup 9% of the time. So the metrics are very misleading on Caprillion. And if the other side of that is Shohei Ohtani, I'm taking the under every single time. I totally understand that the A's are hitting and have been hitting since the All-Star break, but it's still the A's offense. I mean, are we really going to start sitting here and saying, oh, the A's are definitely legit offense you have to try to jump on and back every single time? I'm not even close to that. The Angels are the other team that I think are one of the worst offenses in MLB. So if you're giving me Caprillion, who I think is a pretty good pitcher, and Shohei Ohtani, who I think is an absolutely elite pitcher, I'll take the under, because I would not be shocked, surprised, vexed, confused, or whatever thesaurus word you want to use for a 1-0 type game here. So I'm 100% on the under here. That weather can go suck it. I don't care about any of that. You have to hit the ball for the ball to do something in flight, and I think that could be tough for both offenses today.
Let's get that full game is at 7 at minus 103. Be curious to see what the 7.5 would cost you. It's expensive, minus 133. The 3.5 is at minus 109. See if Circa can beat those numbers. Are those similar to what you got in at?
Yes, I got 7 at minus 112, and I got the first 5 at minus 105.
All right, let's move this over. Those are the best numbers that I can find here. First 5.
And the other note about the Angels bullpen, I get that they've given up some runs, but one of the surprising stats that I found was they're only giving up a 217 average against. So when you see their 4.26 ERA, it's like, oh my God, they have not been pitching all that well. 3.83 FIP. When you see the FIP is lower than the ERA, that generally means there's going to be some better performances coming. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Angels have a good bullpen. Absolutely not. I'm not going to go out on that limb. But I will say that against the A's offense, they could probably hold it down. I expect them to hold it down if they even are needed.
Interesting. Moose on the first 5 under 3.5 minus 105. We did find 4 cents better over at Circa in the full game under 7 at minus 103. And now I have to pretend that I don't that I'm not focusing on this bottom of the third in Tampa. Fucking Tampa.
What's going on there? I don't have any of the games up.
It's 1-0 Jays, and I've got the first 3 Rays minus 115, which I would take the push. I feel all of a sudden my palms have not been leaking like they were earlier in the year, but they have 2 men on, and I'm going to try to not be focused on it. Abel A says Angels first 5 with Ohtani pitching. I don't think Caprillion really is the guy that you want to fade right now, but to bet the Angels, you would have to take minus 1 on the Angels. The minus a half's minus 155. Even the minus 1 is going to be like a minus 112 or something. Matt Paulin says Caprillion under 4.5 Ks has hit 9 of last 10, 13 of 16 on the season, but Angels have the highest K rate in the league, keeping me off. Okay, Moose as locked in. Moose firing shots here. And now we get to his baseball team and a spot that our Jose Bouquet wanted to talk about as well. First off, let's talk about the trade deadline and your thoughts after seeing what AJ did.
I mean, first off, I know that the rest of the chat is able to have moments where you go, yeah, our team is the best team in baseball. I'm not going to say that the Padres are the best team, but just the feeling of this community. San Diego is such a rich baseball town. We have so much talent at the high school, collegiate level. And Southern California has more number 1 draft picks than all the other states. Southern California alone has the most amount of draft picks. So the quality of baseball here has just been unparalleled. But the major league team has not matched that level. It's one of those things where the better talent you could argue in terms of what you're seeing is at lower levels than what the Padres were. That's not the case right now. And as a Padres fan, man, it means so much to me to be able to have that feeling of we are in every single game, because we have a history of not. We have a history of just sucking and being irrelevant. So it is very nice to be relevant. I could talk for a while about this. It was an emotional day yesterday. A lot of happy tears, a lot of joy, but it could all turn into sadness very quickly. I'm not about to sit here and go, "Oh, Padres are World Series champions," but I'm excited. It means a lot for this city. It means a lot for this area.
It's always nice when the ownership says we believe and we want to make this special. The whole city gets a rise out of it. We saw that back in 2016 when we made the Tulowitzki trade and turned everything around there and picked up Price. God, those are magical days. So I get it. It's great. It's great. It's nice to be lifted up by your team. Now 13 games over 500 and just 29 and 22 at home. Saturated's also saying that you got some tight Gill faction in San Diego too. I was not aware of that.
I haven't looked for it. I mean, maybe we could get Big Boss in here, but I don't keep my eyes out for that stuff.
No, I get it.
I don't believe it.
I get it. And no, it's fair. And that doesn't appeal to everybody, but does appeal to some of us. But let's get back to work here. We have Jose joining us here. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't leave that up.
No. It's all right. It's all right.
I'm a little offended by this.
You can leave her.
Okay. All right. Chad Cool going up against Blake Snell, and Jose wanted to talk about this spot as well. Petco Park in San Diego, California, being warmer out there recently, and it's warm again this evening. 76 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.1 miles per hour, left to right, slightly in, dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. Sorry, I've seen her so often. I don't know why I'm so find it so glorious today. I don't know why. All right, let's go over to the line history here. She's so ready to party though, man. That one, she is ready to
party till 5, baby. Party till 5.
Oh, yeah, man. There has been a 5-cent move to the Colorado Rockies, so these Padres are minus 330 fade. Possible. Blake Snell, somebody that I backed and trusted, and it's there's one. I'll take one. Whew, thank you guys. I'll take fucking one. Take fucking one. Blake Snell in his last start was excellent, and there was a belief that he was going to get touched. It was a 10-1 win at home, 6 innings for it, 1 earned run, solo shot, 7 Ks and 1 walk, 4.43 ERA, 1.39 whip. And look, we saw it when he went into Dodger Stadium and pitched lights out, and I was like, look, he cares so much. I expected him to have a strong second half, and that's what he's doing. Rockies versus lefties, 280, 773 OPS. Padres versus righties, 241, 696 OPS. Rockies bullpen, nice backhand, poor middle relief. Padres bullpen has been so streaky, but we're expecting them to be lights out moving forward. Joe Yurkovich is on the Pirates team, total over 3. He is raising it, by the way, Jose. But take it away for us, Jose. Rockies, Padres, Jose Bouquet, and Earl Sports. We did notice he started fading the minus 300s every day. First 5 for him, he's plus 8.85 units. Full game plus 1.05 units. So he says when fading 300s, first 5s are way more profitable. And he's on Rockies first 5 and moneyline full game. Take it away, Jose. Is this a minus 300 fade?
It is, and Joe, I basically, or not Joe, I should say, thank you, Joe, for saying the Pirates thing, because I'm going to be on them too, I think. But Earl, I think I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm not going to take the full game as of right now. You can watch Say Hey Plays for that later today. But first 5 for sure, I'm on it. I just tweeted it out like 0.2 seconds ago. I think I got first 5 plus 225. Yeah, man, these are fucking struggle. These are a grind. They're emotionally taxing. But they get the job done at the end of the day, and it's kind of funny to see how they do. Colorado yesterday, Moose, correct me if I'm wrong, they win game 2?
No, they lost.
They lost.
Craig Grisham walk-off home run.
Oh, classic. Okay, perfect. That makes it even better. So they lose the doubleheaders, both games yesterday. I just think they come out and win this one. Blake Snell has been pitching well, like you guys have said. We'll see how long that lasts. He pitches better at home too, traditionally. So ultimately, this is a good spot for them. And then the Rockies are last against lefties, which is pretty funny. Last against lefties since the All-Star break. 41 weighted runs created plus. And now I need to double check, obviously, to see how much or how big that sample size is, because the Cardinals are at first for lefties at 209 weighted runs created plus, but they only have like 36 plate appearances against them. So it's a small sample size, obviously. So I'm hoping that the Rockies numbers against lefties is just another small sample size. They can get it together a little bit. And Chad Kuhl has been serviceable and in portions of the year. Last two starts, I mean, against the Dodgers, we can kind of figure he's not going to have a good start there. And then at Milwaukee, another start where you're like, yeah, the deck's kind of stacked against them there. So I'll take the shot here again, and it pisses me off that I didn't take a first 5 full game yesterday against DeGrom. That felt like this a layup spot for me personally, because we all know how DeGrom and the Mets bats all jive together. But I had a little more respect for DeGrom, and I wanted to let him make his first start and all that stuff. So I will not have that respect for Blake Snell. I don't think he should be minus 300 against anyone. So there you go.
Interesting breakdown. By the way, we found a much better line over at Circa, 21 cents better, plus 246 first 5 for the Rockies. So we'll give you that. Let's hear what Moose has to say about his boys in action as minus 320 or 30 favorites. Take it away here, Moose, Rockies, Padres.
I 100% agree, Jose. No way should Blake Snell be a minus 3 anything. No, absolutely not. Not when he is capable of literally walking in a group of statues. And he's done that. I've been one of the guys that, if you guys can remember in the chat, I've been kind of throwing out there, his strikeout ratio has just been off the charts. I think he's got 27 strikeouts, or I'm sorry, he's got 38 strikeouts, 39 strikeouts in 27 innings. And that is just unbelievable. But his walk rate is still horrendous. He's still a 5th percentile in the bottom of the league, and he is capable of walking in runs on his own. I have seen him multiple times walk the bases loaded and then get out of it. And if you're walking bases loaded, your likelihood of getting out of it is very, very low, because you're going to have hitters that are just going to be sitting up there waiting for their pitch. So no way should Blake Snell be a minus 300. But I think there's going to be some runs this game. I'm not going to bet the over because I could easily see Snell shutting down the Rockies. But the Padres made a trade. I kind of referenced this. They got a guy, Juan Soto, and they also got Josh Bell. And they'll be in the lineup tonight. We also got Brandon Drury. He'll possibly be in the lineup. Will Myers is also back, and he's been being pretty productive.
Goes from the bat. I forgot about Will Myers, too. I was like, forgot he's even in baseball still.
Right. He got his 500th RBI and a ground out, and it's like, oh, wow, he's back. But he's looked well. He's looked pretty good. So I think it's an over. I definitely lean more towards the over. But the bigger thing is just I don't think – when I saw it was minus 300, it's like, well, I know Jose's on this because this is probably the worst minus 300 I've seen all year.
Wow.
It gets up there. There's some really bad ones. And Blake Snell, like we said, respect to Snell, but – just crazy to see, man. Just crazy to see. Are we sure Soto's going to be in the lab? Are we sure?
He's in San Diego. He arrived like yesterday. Like they literally had cameras, like news crews at the airport when he arrived. So
good. That's how it should be. That's how it should be when you trade for fucking the modern day Ted Williams, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to the game today. And the big reason why I just got standing room only tickets, I want to hear just the crowd. Like it was all that stuff I was talking about earlier. I'm sure you could probably see like the passion and that excitement. I want to feel like the community just have that moment of, all right, we're doing this, man. Like we are going for this. We have the horses, and I just want to feel that excitement. So the win-loss tonight, somewhat irrelevant, somewhat, take that with a grain of salt. It's way more about just feeling the excitement. I really hope we do win. I hope we put up like 20 runs, and it's a party the entire time. But
Whoa, 3-0 Mariners.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. You hate.
Wow.
Fuck, man. What a shame. Oh, God.
Wow.
Maybe they should have traded him away instead of Jordan Montgomery. Oh, God. What a shame.
Wow.
By the way, I'll say this. I am on the Moose money train. I would love to be there and just to feel the crowd and everything. And he said something that I when he said it, I went 6 to midnight just for my bets. It doesn't really matter about the win-loss tonight. It doesn't. That's what happened yesterday with the Mets. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. They just want the Grom to go in and out happy and healthy. And that's what happened. So that's what I'm hoping for today. Juan Soto gets in there, gets a hit. Yay! And then everyone else goes on there, swings and misses. Rockies win like 3-2, and we'll get out of there happy.
Wow, wild breakdown. And Cool's not being good on the road. Strange how good he's been at home this year. But 5.03 ERA, 279 points batting average on the road. All right, Jose is on the Rockies first 5 at plus 246. Jose, what is the Say Hey Play Today record at right now?
That's a good question. I just wrote it down. We've had 2 back-to-back losing days, unfortunately. I could easily say that might be because of the trade deadline and traveling back home from Houston and then literally getting out of my car and going straight into a show, which was fun. It was obviously a lot of fun. But the records right now since at 227. Sorry, 327. I'm dyslexic. And 323 up 23.91 units. So obviously can't complain. We've got 3 official plays, which I'll mention now because 2 of them are early games. Minnesota minus 1.5. Yeah, whenever obviously Taint spreadsheet meet, you got to bet it no matter what. So I'm on that as well. That's all on my guys because of the respect there. Kansas City Royals over 3.5 minus 114. I've also got that in as well. So I can't wait. And then Rockies first 5 money line is the third one. You can make all those officials if you'd like, Jim, but those are official Say Hey records. And I'll be riding solo today at 5:30, but it's a short card with a little West Coast baseball, and we'll talk more about Padres, Rockies, and maybe we'll find some action here because I'll tell you, Freddie Peralta and the Pirates. I do need to make the Pirates official. I forgot about that. Freddie Peralta coming off the IL. I read it was a lat injury. And it was a 60-day IL, such a long layoff. I have not looked at his minor league starts like you mentioned, but we'll be raising it a little bit today.
Okay, so what would you? Sorry, I'll add if you want to add some official. What did you get the Mets? Or sorry, the Jose Twins minus 1.5,
minus 105.
And is that? Let me just make sure that's not can't quickly be beaten here by Penny. The Twins minus 1.5 minus 106. All right. Okay. And what else did you want?
I'm keeping looking the wrong things. Royals team total over 3.5 minus 114.
Yeah, I got you that. Yeah.
And then obviously Rockies first 5 money line plus
okay.
220.
You're in business.
240, whatever you got me at.
And do you have a guest on today's show?
Nope, just riding solo, 6 gamer. Should be a lot of fun today, and we'll be back Thursday. I'm actually having Dabby Cab off his fresh return of Vegas, so we'll get all the stories. I'll get his side of the story from the Victor saga. Maybe Victor will be alive by then. Who knows? And maybe we'll have a different song for the Taint. So it'll be fun. But yeah, I'm excited about today because I like the Mariners today, and now that seeing Garrett Cole get pieced up, that fills me with joy.
Yeah, it is certainly happening here. Certainly happening. All right, let's roll into the last game on the card, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Dodgers, 69-33, 34-18 on the road at San Francisco Giants, 51-52, 29-24 at home. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. I really am looking forward. This is the game I wanted to cap the most with everybody. So let's hammer away at it. We will start with the weather in Frisco, 62 Fahrenheit, 10.3 miles per hour out to center, down to 9 miles per hour. Now, Flush Allen said that yesterday was a real simple Dodgers spot because they had to show out after the Padres made their big trade. And that was a really nice angle for Nut Flush. And I wonder if that slows down here. I think the Dodgers are almost forced to show strength right now after their rivals showed immense strength at the deadline. There's been a 10-cent move to the Dodgers. And that 10-cent move didn't happen until about 40 minutes ago. It was exactly where it's opened until then. This total has moved to the under, a 15-cent move to the under. And we've hit the only spot on the board where there's full line value, and it's on the San Francisco Giants. 18% of the tickets, 42% of the cash on the Giants. Then 44% of tickets on the under. Mike M says LA Dodgers 2 days in a row and take them over the Padres. They're going to flex this week and show everyone in that division what's up. Lee Davis is on the Giants here. Julio Urias going up against Alex Cobb. Urias, 10-6, 2.71 ERA, seems to have this Giants number. On the road, he's been very good this year. 6-4, 2.49 ERA, 2.11 opponents. Batting average is coming off a 5-4 win at the Rockies. 7 innings for it. It's just 2 earned runs in the thin air of Colorado. Going up against Alex Cobb, who's been very good at home this year. 2-5, 2.84 ERA, 2.28 opponents batting average. He's coming off a nice start at home. A very nice start. When's the last time you saw Cobb drop 11 strikeouts in 6 innings? He allowed just 1 earned run and 1 walk. Dodgers, though, hit 260, 786 OPS versus righties. Giants hit lefties hard, 244, 751 OPS. The Giants bullpen has become trash, while this Dodgers bullpen is getting better as it moves, as the season goes on. I can't wait to talk about this game, Moose. Take it away. Your thoughts, Dodgers, Giants.
First off, I think that all the Dodger sentiment is 100% right. In no way do the Dodgers look at what the Padres did and say, oh, man, we're worried now. Absolutely not. There's no way the Dodgers are worried about what the Padres did. If anything, they're just looking at it as a nuisance. So I wouldn't be surprised if they flexed. One of the things I found very interesting in the series meetup, or the series matchup between the Giants and the Dodgers, each series has been decided with a sweep. There has not been one series that has a win for each team. So that's kind of one of those interesting factors. And I'm on the Dodgers money line, run line here. I do think that the first 5 was a little bit tricky because Alex Cobb, I don't know what I'm necessarily going to get from Cobb. His ERA is 4.06, but his expected ERA is 2.75. He's a sinker splitter pitcher, and his sinker ball right now has a 210 expected batting average. His split finger has a 212 expected batting average. Nobody's hitting the sinker or the splitter with a lot of power. Both are sub 400 slug. So I do like the disparity between the bullpens. The fact that the Giants bullpen has continued to struggle gives me a big confidence boost when backing the Dodgers. The Giants, since the All-Star break, 221 average, 362 slug, 666 OPS, 93 weighted runs created plus. So it's not exactly an offense that has been horrendous, but they've not been good. It's not an offense that you're going to be trying to go out and bet all their team totals. The Dodgers, on the other hand, have totally been absolute mashing right-handed pitchers since the All-Star game, and that's a 285 average, 498 slug, and an 860 OPS, 142 weighted runs created plus. There's just way too many things that are screaming Dodgers here. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants are in it first 5, and then later on in the game, the Dodgers do open it up. I do have confidence that Cobb's going to pitch well. I do expect probably a lower scoring game earlier on. The Giants, like I said, have not hit lefties. Urias has dominated the Giants. So I'm on the Dodgers full game money line, run line, but I wouldn't be opposed to a first 5 under. But I'm not going to play that because I do want the Dodgers to score.
I'm going to play that. I just fucking hate these minus 125 totals. It just, I told myself I wouldn't play them anymore. And that's what I should be doing here. But I just, it's just so hard for me to follow through on that. I hate the implied probability of a minus 125 on a total. Like it just doesn't make sense. I can't change it. There's no reward in moving it around, moving it to 3.5 is just minus 105. But 55.56% probability is probably not going to work. There's Sweaty Butcher in the house. Joe Yurkovich locked in Oakland plus 1.5 at minus 105. Alex Gagnon says, I don't know you can't downplay the Padres haul and not just Soto, but a whole package with them. Yeah, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. It shakes up the whole division, shakes up the whole NL. Let's get line shopping for you, though. You're going to move on first 5 full game Dodgers.
No, I'm just moving on the full game run line, money line.
Okay, full game run line on the Dodgers. Plus 109 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I took this last night. I got the money line at 149, and I got the run line at plus 105.
Oh shit! You're gonna do a minus 1.
Yeah, I'm doing a minus 1. Yeah, sorry, I did the little the special Jimmy minus 1.
Okay, let's get you that minus 1 here and see what we get you. That is a minus 162 and a plus 109 here at Pinnacle. We'll try to beat that. So why don't we just so the minus 1.5 is plus 109. The money line is minus 162. And I'll just quickly see if I can beat that at circa. And I'm going to move on the first 5 under with a little tiny bit of nervousness. So that's by far the best one over from circa. Okay, so let's put that in the -1 calculator here. We'll also pop that -1 calculator in the chat if anybody needs it. It's very, very helpful, especially in MLB and NHL. So we got you that -1 at -125.
Okay.
So it's -1, -125. And here is the -1 calculator for anybody who needs it. And thank you to Ron Crawford for hooking us up with it. Here we go. Matt Stoney says Castillo about to have the most confident game of his Seattle career. It's nice. Nice.
Yeah, he's got a nice little safety net.
And Joe Yeager says good for more than just finding -1. You're absolutely right. It is good. And here we go. Jeffrey Moore says Lorena Bobbitt had a sister. A lot of people don't know. She tried the same thing but failed. Oh.
I hate to inform everyone.
Yeah.
It's 6-0 in the first inning.
Yeah.
Jared Kelenic hit a home run. Oh my God.
Even Kelenic getting involved in that.
Hey, good for him. I feel bad for that guy with how much of a touted prospect he was. And the Mariners owner basically calls him and says him like, I'm going to keep you down just to keep you down. And all the Mariners fans got upset with him. He comes up, he doesn't play well, gets sent back down. So good for him. Good for him to have a moment in Yankee Stadium.
By the way, Jimmy, I don't know if we have a reserve time for this. I think I'm ready to make some futures bets.
Geez.
On the MLB season. Shout out to my guy Nut Flush Allen, who said right after the trade deadline is probably a good spot to make those bets, and I think I'm ready.
All right. Futures. You want to lock in some futures right now, right here?
Yeah, ideally. I don't know.
All right, let's
we
do
got
it,
some
Jose.
time. We got some
Let's
time,
do it.
right? Moose, you got something to do?
No, I mean, I got a Padre game later. I'm going to take the train, have myself a nice little time.
We'll tell your dog I said hello as well.
All right.
Jose says hi.
Say hey, futures. Take it away, Jose Bouquet.
All right. So I'll start off with this. I've had like a top 4 essentially, 2 AL, 2 NL for the last couple of month, maybe a week or so. I don't know. But it's been solidly Mets, Braves, Astros, Jays. And the Jays definitely did not help their case in this situation. And truthfully, I'm a little more trepidatious on them. I want to leave that 4th spot as just like an amalgamous 4th AL team right now because it's not the Yankees. You guys can keep telling me the Yankees are going to be whatever, but I do not think this Yankees team has got it pitching wise, and they're always full like mental midgets they are. But whatever. Aaron just never had a clutch home run in his life. So I think those 2 teams or those AL teams are kind of the ones to beat. But the National League, I mentioned this yesterday with Bobano. I think it is criminal, grand larceny, that the Atlanta Braves are a higher World Series favorite than the Padres. I do not think there's any, even with these additions, I think the Braves are just a better squad. I think, honestly, one of the best trades of the trade deadline that will not get talked about much until the playoffs and these closing games for them was Rafael Iglesias going from the Angels to the Braves. It was clearly the trade that pissed off the NL East the most. The Mets were pissed off. The Phillies fans weren't happy. Kelly Jansen has been, I don't have his stats in front of me to tell you if he's been good or bad this year, but I have a Braves fan friend that every time he comes onto the mound, it's just anxiety, stress. No one likes him there. And Raziel's a good closer, and I thought it was a good deal for them. They're plus 950 right now for the World Series. We have not had a back-to-back winner since the Yankees in whatever year. I didn't look it up after I said this yesterday. It's 01, 02, or 099, 2000, whatever the fuck it was in those years. But I think specifically, I'm going to go with the NL winner, the Atlanta Braves at plus 475. I locked that in right now. I think the Braves are just the best team in baseball, really. I think they're better than the Astros, and I easily think they could win the World Series. But I'll stick with that just now and then make more bets as we go along. But young, thick Austin Riley gets breaded up. And then obviously Matt Olson, all that stuff matters, man. When you lock in your guys early, they're comfortable, they're ready to go mentally. I just really believe in this Rays squad or Braves. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing that happened to me in NHL, this was like 15 years ago or whatever, but and I'm not saying you're doing this, but something that happened to me in NHL was that I'd always think the teams that were in the Stanley Cup final were going to the year before, we're going to do it again. And I had to stop. Like I had to stop myself from being able to bet the two teams that were in the Stanley Cup final. And I did it maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I was like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. And I couldn't help myself because it was the Penguins. The Penguins, I thought they were just the best team in the league every year. And
can I play devil's advocate with that?
Sure.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
No doubt about it.
Last 3 years,
No doubt about it.
Obviously, that is a historical dynasty now in the NHL that will go down for a long time. The Braves, maybe they're just starting that, whatever. But about Alex Anthopoulos very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, I don't know. Here's the thing. The Padres are not going to have the pitching matchup advantage in most any matchup they go against. Truly, I think they will always have the second best starter in the series, no matter what. Padres, Dodgers, you can say that. I think Fried's better than anyone that the Padres have. And I could talk about Ian Anderson, and hopefully he becomes a clutch pitcher. Who knows again? But and the Braves lineup, maybe it's not better than the Padres right now, but it's right there. It's right there. We don't know what the Padres are going to give to us. They've been healthy all year. The Braves have together postseason experience. The real question is the Dodgers. And I've been low on the Dodgers all year. And I believe in the karmic forces and all that stuff. So Vin Scully dying obviously does not give me the most confidence. But I really do think this is a Braves league right now. And it's pretty crazy. And the Mets are my other squad. And DeGrom going out there and pitching really well yesterday, win or loss, obviously. I didn't care. Should have bet the Nationals. But it's just those two teams that are the teams for me. And the American League is obviously the scary part, because I think it's the Astros are going to make the ALCS. That's a lock. They've done it for the last 7 or 8 years, but who knows who's going to take that last spot.
I tell you, the only issue I have, I get what you're saying. The only issue I have is that the NL is fucking stacked.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. I agree. I think it's stacked because you didn't even mention the Brewers.
Well, you mentioned the Cardinals. The Brewers are going to fold to the Cardinals. I've seen everyone saying that the Brewers are eventually going to fall back. They trade their star guy in Josh Hader in a bullpen that we didn't believe in to begin with, in an offense that we fucking somehow have been putting together. We've all been questioning that, but I just don't believe in their bullpen either. At the end of the day, Craig Counsell, is that their fucking what is it? Okay, I was like, guy. He's a good manager, but it seems like always in the postseason, they're always something that he fucks up.
I just think I agree with Jimmy. I think there's just way too much competition out there in the National League. Because you didn't really even give the Mets their due credit there as well. They just got DeGrom back, and it's going to be they're in their division. I think they still have quite a few games left against each other. If I remember correctly, if I saw the schedule not too long ago,
you could get the Braves to win the division. By the way, at plus 200 still, minus 290 are the Mets. So I think it's going to be a good divisional race and everything. And like I said, the Mets are my second team in the National League. They're fucking great. Though my mental hurdle with the Mets is their mental hurdle of being the Mets. Excuse me. They just, let's not forget last year, this is the same team that practiced like the dog pile World Series thing. Like, this team is so fucking cornball. Everything about them is cornball. So I just a little worried on that aspect, but I just think the Braves have like everything they need, man. The bullpen is great. Well, it's good. I shouldn't say great. The bullpen is good. The starting pitchers are good enough to great. Their bats are fantastic. They're all settled. Their managers are great. They've been there. They've done that. It's just that stuff worries me, obviously, and I believe in the Dodgers too. It's just they've had a lot of question marks. Like, all right, so let's line them up. Fried versus Kershaw, game 1, push pitching matchup wise. Truthfully, I'd give the edge to Fried there over an aging Kershaw. Game 2, we're going Tony Gonsolin. I'm fading Tony Gonsolin for the rest of the second half. Tyler Anderson, Walker Buehler, I don't think he's coming back. So it's just they don't got the dogs right now. They really don't.
Yeah, but to your point, I would probably take Musgrove over Fried.
See, that's where I'll disagree there. I'd take Fried over Musgrove. See, that's where we can hash out that stuff. But I think it's very tough to say that the Dodgers are the prohibitive favorites in the National League. Like right now, they're plus 350 to win the World Series and plus 175 to win the National League. Like I think those are ridiculous. I think that's name value.
It is kind of ironic. Joe Musgrove was on the radio talking about the All-Star game, and you know who he was hanging out with more than anything, and was talking about their routine and their process. Max Fried.
That sounds about right.
Good old Canadian kid. I just think that the NL is so much better than the AL. So much. Look at
All-Star games, bro.
But the top end talent, you can say, Yankees, Astros, sure. But there's just so many dynamite teams in the NL. That's my concern. That's my only concern about your look on the Braves is the competition's fucking steep, man. But you're locked in. Say, hey, futures, Braves, NL. I mean, I don't have a lot of futures, and I've been trying to cut them down for a few years now. But I have the Giants win total under, which is golden. I have the White Sox to win the division, and then I have 1150 locked into the Jays, which I expect I'll lose all of that action.
I have a board with all my futures on them, and I look at it every day. And the thing that really just burns me up, besides O'Neal Cruz Rookie of the Year, maybe I was a little reactive there, whatever, is I keep fucking falling into the fucking Phillies trap, man. I always fall into the Phillies trap with them being good, and they always fucking kill me. But yeah, I've got all my futures in front of me too, and it looks better than not worse. But I also have a Shohei Ohtani MVP that is going to fucking kill me when Aaron Judge gets it, and I'm going to be yelling from the rooftops that he doesn't deserve it. Even if he gets 80 home runs, doesn't pitch.
Ohtani's just not hitting this year the way we thought he would. 259 average right now.
How many home runs?
He's not. Ohtani's on one of the worst teams we've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
That doesn't matter in baseball. I love that.
How many MVPs are on under 400 winning percentage teams? Has there ever been one?
Mike Trout.
Were they on?
Mike Trout's teams were ass. They were all horrible.
But look at their wins.
Exact records, but Mike Trout's been on the worst team in baseball for the last 10 years. He wins MVPs left and right.
Yeah, but he makes those teams somewhat formidable. I mean, I know Shohei's doing the best he can, but he doesn't have a fucking chance.
I think he does. I think if he keeps pitching well and hits the home runs, if he gets to 30 home runs and has a sub-3 ERA, then I'll be sitting there. Aaron Judge, fuck your 70 home runs, man. Throw some pitches on the mound, you coward.
I mean, if the Angels are smart, they'd probably limit. First, I think Ohtani shouldn't even be starting. I think he should be a reliever. I think he could have a bigger
Moose,
impact.
get out of here, Moose. Get the fuck out of here.
Because you could have him impact more games, and you could continue to cap his pitch count, because you do worry about how much of longevity is going to impact from his pitching into his hitting. That is tough. I mean, we haven't seen it happen in baseball before because it's extremely difficult to do both things. I do think it'd be a great idea to possibly put him into the bullpen, allow him to have more impact in games as a relief pitcher, and be be more equipped to have a longer career as a hitter.
No way.
Look,
give me my start.
It's not going to happen. It won't happen. But I think that would be the smartest thing you could do. Because they could shut him down. They could shut him down this year, saying, all right, let's just try to go into next year because the Angels have nothing going on. They don't have anything next year. So it's an absolute shit show over there. Artie Moreno needs to do something to get rid of that team.
He's just been so bad. I mean, it all started with the Pools.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, but they've never, in his MVP years, they've never been below 440 winning percentage. And right now,
they're going to be awful. They're going to be truly terrible. But I think at the end of the day, pitching and hitting is so fucking hard. And if you can do one at an elite level and one at like an average level, I think you should win it every year. I think, honestly, this is going to turn into like a LeBron James kind of thing where it's like, you should win the MVP every year. It's going to be something like that. I truly think until he stops doing one or the other, he should win MVP every year. Like it's truly just so hard to do what he's doing on both sides of the plate, or on both sides of the field, I guess.
Look, I get that sentiment, but his team is just a fucking garbage fire, and you just can't award trophies to teams that are garbage fires.
Yeah, Judge just seems like such the obvious choice right now. I mean, he's on pace for what, like 67 home runs right now?
Yeah, he's gonna break the AL American League home run record probably.
Yeah.
And then he's going to leave the Yankees. That's going to be a real shame. How funny is that? He's going to break Roger Maris's record, and they're going to let him walk to San Francisco? Ugh. Sickening.
Let's review all official action. Jose, stick with us while we do that. And Moose, it was great capping the card with you. Let's do more of this. Great job. So I opened with a push on the Rays' first three, and now I have to hope for a push in the Phillies' first five with Moose. The first five team total over 1.5 is not going to come to fruition. Nope. Morton pitching well. He's so zigzag with his action. I mean, I hate to simplify things with him, but fucking zigzag. 1:05 p.m. Eastern, we stayed off Mariners Yankees, and the Mariners are up 6-0 right now. We have Diamondbacks Guardians staying off as well. Jose's on the Twins -1.5 with the taint play of the day, and the spreadsheet play of the day is Minnesota -1. And Moose is on the under 8.5. It is 0-0 right now, but the Twinkies have two men on first and second with one out in the bottom of the second. I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4 in. I think I'm going to move on the first 5 under 4 in Orioles Rangers. I only say think because that first the what Joe got on the under 4.5 is one of those things where I'll just be like jealous of his line, and I wonder what. Now it's -105. Okay, big going away a little bit. Let's see what the when he got the -128, it was available to me at -155. Right now that it's -145. That's a little better. But the 4 -105 I find somewhat appealing. What if I built it myself? That'd be a -145. No, +125. No, I'm leaning towards backing that under 4. I'm already on the Orioles full game at +135, and Moose is on the Rangers -0.5 at +100. That game pops off here in 27 minutes. Red Sox Astros, no action. Mike M. Pimp Slap play of the day is on the Royals first 5 +0.5. Say Hey play of the day. Royals team total over 3.5 -114. Moose is on the Bassett over 5.5 Ks at +116 and Mets Washington. I have interest in this first 3 under in Reds Marlins. Interest. And you know what? The under 1.5 at plus money might be worth it. It actually might be worth it, even though Minor can be so susceptible. I just don't see the Marlins doing anything against the lefty. And Minor has good numbers that first inning and first time through the rotation. Or first time through the lineup. Thinking of it, it's hard to back Minor. Brewers, Pirates, we stayed off. But Jose, did you move personally on the Pirates team total over?
I have not yet. I probably will during Say Hey plays. So
probably will during Say Hey plays. By the way, the Guardians have 2 runners on in the second inning themselves. I'm going to move on the first 5 over 4 in Cubs Cardinals. I know there's rain is going to be a problem. I just feel like these bats are hot on the opposition, and I know that Cards get so streaky versus lefties, and the 4 and 5 innings is quite easily attainable. Moose is doubling up on the unders in Oakland Angels. Jose's on the Rockies, first 5 at plus 246. I'm going to move on the first 5 under 4 in Dodgers, Giants. Moose is on the Dodgers on the -1 line. And Jose dropped a future on the Braves to win the National League. Atlanta just scored a fucking run. God damn it, with 2 out. In the bottom of the 5th inning, for fuck's sake. All right. Okay. And now the Guardians have the bases loaded. Thank you guys for getting me off the 25-year-old lefty on the bump. 2-0 Twins now for you guys. Okay, 2-0 Twins. Look at that. Taint spreadsheet on the same side. Nice work.
Can we start the Joe Ryan Rookie of the Year campaign? Come on, Joe. Julio, fucking take a break, my man. Rest up into the playoffs. Fucking chill. Let's go, Joe Ryan. Come on.
Taint and spreadsheet looking very good here. Moose, my man, great job. I will have a spreadsheet set up for you, tracking your action here on Betting with the Bag. I'm going to pop your Twitter handle here in the chat. Do you have any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
I'm just so grateful and thankful to be here. Win or lose, I just love talking all the sports. I love talking baseball. Don't hesitate to reach out. And if you have anything with pitching, I love talking pitching. I love the development. I'm also kind of one of those weird outside the box coaches, pitching coaches. I don't believe in running pitcher polls. So I know there's probably some pitchers out there that they just got a big old smile on their face. That's kind of that's the mentality I use. There's no play in baseball that lasts more than 15 seconds. So why the hell are we having people run miles? Let's just train them to be bursty, fast twitch, and get them out there to achieve. So if you have any questions on things that are outside of sports capping, whether it's pitching or coaching or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me on Twitter at Moose Money Bets. You can also find me on Brothers and Bets every once in a while, capping the MLB card. And I believe I'll be breaking down the Big Ten with Marley Betts next week. Beautiful.
Yeah, we love Brothers and Bets.
I have a question.
Yes, hammer away.
Moose, this is a pitching question. There have been discussions once Dabby Cab gets out of his bender in Vegas and promises not to gas me up with 95, that we'll take a gun out there and see if I can throw 70. Moose, are you on the right side of history? I know you've been in the chat for this plenty of time. Are you on the right side of history saying that I can throw over 70 miles an hour?
You won't.
Fuck you, Moose.
That was fast.
I just went out the other day. I when I was playing and I did the development program that I ended up teaching, I got my velocity all the way up to 92, 93, 94. And I just went out and threw like a month ago. I hit 75 once.
Wow.
I'm a lot bigger, a lot less stronger. I was doing all the weight room stuff back then. I have not been doing the weight room stuff. I'm not sure if you could tell from my big old belly here, but the velocity is really tough to get. I would be shocked if Jose broke the speed limit in residential highways.
Yes, I agree with that, and we will take action. And but man,
what's the line?
I like what Fireside said. 55.
50. You guys are fucking losing money. You guys, if you guys bet the under 55, you're losing money, and that's
55 and a half.
55. That's a lock. I can guarantee you I can get 60. That's a fucking lock.
Okay.
We will see.
This is Texas tailgate tour stuff right now.
Yeah.
Are you in a car or are you actually throwing the ball?
Uh-oh.
Moose, buddy, let me tell you, when I hit 80, you'll be shocked. These long, lengthy arms getting these torsos working.
I would be, because I'd wonder, how the hell did I get into your dream?
Exactly. You should be wondering that. By the way, again, I would like to remind everyone that Jimmy the Bag is a cleat chaser. So Moose Money being a baseball coach and throwing 94 was the least surprising thing of this show. Because, of course, if you rewind it when he says that, Jimmy's face just lights up. And so we know what Jimmy the Bag likes. We know.
All right, we are close to 2:10 p.m. action. 2:10 p.m. action. 2:05. Oh, I got to move on. I'm going to possibly move on this first 5 under 4 in Baltimore, Texas. And then I guess that's it for me, actually, for 2:10 action. But I got to get in soon. That pops off in 21 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. We have no show without you guys. Jonathan Maltese, Topset, Fireside, Joseph Gomez, Michael Irvelina, Ryan Mueller, The Gas Report, Nuke, Worker. Nuke Worker. We're putting a day together. Sammy Calmer is setting it up where the boys are going to come down for a Blue Jays game and a track day as well. So we're working on that for August to have that. Andrew G, Top Set, The Sweaty Butcher, Jeffrey Moore, Lucas Ryan, Paul Trippy, all you guys, Mike M, Viper NB, Jay Peasy, Matt Paulins. Thank you guys so much for your support. A big show Thursday and Friday here, and big shows for the rest of the day. Don't forget our man Sharpie at 3:10. Then we have Jose's Say Hey plays of the day at 5:30, and our new time for the daily sesh coming to you live from Las Vegas, 6:30 p.m. Let's get that cash. Moose, great job, my man. Thank you for your hard work and your breakdowns. We're going to be doing a lot more of this with Moose on the show, but you guys get their fucking money. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers!